You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting season. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting season. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast. This is season number 3, episode 27. And tonight, we welcome UltraBosh64 to the show. What's up, man?
How's it going, everybody? Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us, man. It's good to have you on the show. I was saying before, we've known each other for years, but we've never really chatted before. So, no, it's good to finally catch up and chat.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is, I've checked out some of the earlier podcasts, and it seems very chummy, and I really wanted to be a part of this. So just really glad to be here so we can talk some games.
Yeah, awesome, man. Oh, for everyone who doesn't know you, Morgan, tell us who you are, what you do, and what you collect.
Yeah, so Morgan, I'm 30 years old. I've been collecting for 10 years, a gamer all my life. Actually, funny story. I was actually potty trained on the NES. I know that's sort of an embarrassing story for a lot of anyone else, but for me, it's like a badge of honor, I guess you could say. Primarily, though, collecting RPGs and some horror, a little bit of visual novel, but primarily like 90% of the collection's RPGs. It's been a love of mine for quite some time now.
Nice, and you dabble in lots of different systems. I can see complete in box N64, PS2, PS1 behind you. Some awesome stuff.
Yeah, pretty much everything from. I don't do any NES. Because quite frankly, most of the NES RPGs are quite horrible. So anything Super Nintendo and forward is pretty well fair game.
Nice, awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's got. I'm trying to. I mean, the Final Fantasy on the NES is very. Yeah, it's like all right. I don't really love it. Like people say, it's I understand why it's like a big game for what it became, but it's not the greatest game. I do like the Dragon Warrior games, but they don't really get great until like 3. I'll be honest with you. Like one is fun, but it's like super simple. 2 is like better, but it's not that great. 3 is fantastic. 3 is like a really well fleshed out RPG. But yeah, those are the only ones I really love on the NES for RPGs, I'd say. I like the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. You ever play those games on the NES though? I don't know why I like those.
Played them on PS4.
Yeah, they were cool back then. They were like little strategy games on the NES. Those are kind of fun. And then
they always have like Dynasty Warrior elements to them.
The way I remember it, it was more like a strategy RPG, and it was like more like you move like it was like Chinese armies fighting, and like, gosh, I don't remember it that well. It was like Nobunaga's Ambition or something like that too. I used to play on that game, so I guess if you count those are decent, but it's not like a powerhouse for sure. But I liked I don't even know what you call it in RPG. You ever play Fax Xanadu? I love that game. Did you ever play that game on the NES? It's like a 2D action type game, but it's got like, I don't know, you have to like, it's kind of like an RPG because you do like upgrade your gear and you have like to save with codes, though. It's not like a save file. You have to like write down codes. It's one of those games. So I don't know.
I guess in that case, do you consider Highlight an RPG?
I consider it a goddamn curse bane of my existence. That was like on the show, I can't. It was like one of the topics was like, what was a game that like the cover looked amazing, and then you got home and you were like so disappointed with the game. And Highlight was my pick because it's like, yeah, man, the RPG. This dude's got the sword. He's fighting this dragon. It's gonna be freaking badass, man. I love killing dragons. And I get home and I'm like, what the hell is this? It's just like I don't know what to do.
I've been ripped off.
I did not like Highlight. I revisited it as an adult because it was like I remember playing it as a kid, just being like, "The hell are you supposed to do in this game?" Like I didn't understand the game. I was probably too young or something. But I went back and it's okay, but I don't know. I don't know what I'd call it. I guess it's an RPG.
I guess that means you didn't adventure into the later sequel and Virtual Highlight on the Saturn, because that's probably one of the ugliest fucking things I've ever played in my existence. Like the way the camera spins around and like everything's just super pixelated and you can't tell where the hell you're going. It's awful.
There was a Super Highlight, and I never played the sequels, no, but I remember I did watch the AVGN episode where he talked about one of the highlights. It looks pretty bad. So, but hey, whatever. It's not about some of those older games. They were just trying new stuff, and it just came out real awkward. And like the heart was in the right place. It just that's with a lot of old games. That's how I feel. It's a lot of old games are like the controls are bad, or the camera's bad, or like the inventory system's bad, or like they just didn't figure out like a couple of things that made the game bad. But other than that, it could have been all right.
In saying that, there could have been one thing in that game that inspired a future game developer, and they put it in their game, and it turned into a good feature. So you never know.
That's true. The guy who made Dark Souls is like, if it hadn't been for Highlight, no Dark Souls. You guys don't understand. I got so pissed at that game. I took it out on, I don't know.
You know what? I'm going to take it out on everyone from the future.
Yeah, if Miyazaki came out and said that, I would flip shit. I guess it would make sense why that's $100 game now.
Have come from, but I can't put my finger on the game.
I always wondered, like, sometimes I do feel like some game designers are like sadists or something. You ever play a game or something? You just play something, and you're like, who put this in here? Who did this? Why would you do this? That's how I feel right now. I'm playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And the little piano parts? You can play the piano. Yeah, well, they put a little thing in there with this perfect rating. So you can get like 3 stars or gold star, whatever, but they have like a special thing if you get it perfect. Why would you do that? Why would you put it in there? Why would you put that in there? So now I'm over here like a psycho for hours playing this stupid piano instead of playing fucking the game. Like, you guys don't understand. Like, people put that in there like, but like I'm obsessed. I can't like get past these things. I'm just like, I have to sit here and play this piano for 12 hours until I get a perfect score. My girlfriend's like,
before we started the podcast, Joe was telling us how he hasn't finished Final Fantasy 16 yet. I think Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth yet. I think we just worked out why. Been stuck on this piano mission for 6 hours. Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, and they tricked me. So like the first like few songs, they weren't that bad. So I could sit there. It took me like maybe like 45 minutes to get it, All right, but now I'm committed. I've gotten like 4 perfect songs, and now I'm on the last few songs, and they're hard as balls. They're wicked hard. They really are. They're like they're weird too, because you know me, I like rhythm games. So I'm just like, I could just like, I feel like I could do it eventually, but it is weird because you have to like, there's like 2 circles and you have to pick the angles that they come in. And so not only do they come in like at different rhythms, but they're going different directions. And it's like doing the, you know what I mean? It's like it's like, I don't know. It's just goofy and weird.
It'd be easier to just get a keyboard and play it at this point, right?
It would be yes. There are a lot of rhythm games where the game is harder than the song itself in real life. You know what I mean? Like, I would have an easier time playing a Dragon Force song on a guitar.
I was just about to mention
than to play it on fucking Beat Saber, because it's like, wow! I'm like, I'm not physically in shape enough to do it on Beat Saber. like I'm gonna die, but like I can move my hands pretty quick. You know what I mean? Like that's possible. But this whole this is ridiculous, bro. I'll die. I'll fall. Like I can't even practice the song because if I play it twice, I'm like, all right, I need to. Oh, jeez, I need some water. Like, I can't even practice. It's so intense.
But you don't play that song. You have to learn the whole thing. You have to know it off by heart. That's the only way to play it.
Don't start playing Dance Dance Revolution then if that's the case. It's going to be a time.
I made that mistake once. I went to like out. We went to this place called Dave and Buster's, and you know probably Dave and Buster's, but Figsy probably doesn't. It's like a arcade barcade type thing. Like Chuck E. Cheese for adults. Yeah, it's like a franchise. It's like kind of like just an arcade, but they have food and beer and drinks and stuff. Anyway, I went there with like a group of people, and like it was all fine and dandy, but they had a Dance Dance Revolution machine, and I'm over here like, well, I love rhythm games. I'm gonna put this shit on hard mode, baby. And so I played it, and like, dude, after like 2 songs, I'm like crippled. I was like, oh, what have I done? I've used muscles that I haven't used since I was 14. Oh God, what have I done? Like I was in so much pain from just trying to be like to play the stupid game. It was hilarious. Like the next day, like I remember like waking up feeling like I went to the gym or something because I played stupid Dance Dance Revolution. Oh my God.
It really is an incredible like cardio workout. I do that on the regular, like on the weekends. So at least on like Saturdays, I'll typically do like 3 solid hours of Dance Dance Revolution, which in the home version is ITG Mania or In the Groove. But yeah, like as far as like difficulty ratings, everything's like 0 to 20, and I'm playing like 19s because there no 20s exist, and it's solid. Like today, I played for 3 hours, and I think it said I burned 2,000 calories, which is nuts. So then I just went to the fish place and just chowed down on food afterwards. So I was so exhausted.
Sounds like it's good exercise. Like you say the same with Beat Saber, right, Joe? That like you play for a couple of hours and then you're covered in sweat and exhausted and everything.
If you play on Expert, Expert Plus. So if you play it on like the easy mode, you'll be chilling. You know what I mean? You don't have to make it like that, but as soon as you put it on Expert Plus, the tempo is vastly faster. So yeah, you're moving your ass. But the difference is like Beat Saber, like you'll be sweaty and your arms will be burning, but that's it. Dance Dance Revolution, you're using your hips and your legs, and if you're not someone who's out jogging, riding bikes, doing that stuff a lot, you're gonna be in pain. You're gonna be in pain. But Beat Saber can do that. Like Beat Saber, some of the songs they have like blocks you have to like dodge. You have to like crouch under and stuff like that, squats under and stuff like that. And sometimes you have to like hold the squats for a while. So if you play certain songs a lot, you'll have the similar problem because you're doing all these freaking like shimmies and things in your room and stuff like that. And my deepest fear is that my girlfriend's going to record me playing that and put it on the internet. So I'm going to look so goofy. It's just ridiculous playing that shit.
Nah, it'll go viral because you like completed a song on expert mode.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's when you get ahead of it and just record it yourself and put it on the internet.
That's right. And I wear a tutu. Let's go.
And a tiara?
Yeah, I'm a pretty princess. It'll fit over the helmet.
Now.
Yeah, whatever. No, apparently if you want to stream Beat Saber, you have to like go on Twitch and become a furry of some sort of digital furry creature. You have to be some sort of anime thing. Because I'm gonna watch Beat Saber, and I spend there 2 hours. I'm like, can I look at a human? Are there any human beings? I don't want to watch a fox play. I don't want to watch a little purple bear play. I don't want to. What the hell is with this fucking shit? Like, it makes me not want to play Beat Saber. I'm like, is this community just a bunch of furries? Like, is that the only people who play Beat Saber? Because no offense, I'm like, I don't know if I'll fit in here, folks. This is a little odd. Anybody? No, sorry. Did I offend people?
We get it in the GeoGuessr scene. It can be weird sometimes. Like, I got nothing against it, but
maybe it's a generational thing.
That's me. So
yes, I literally go through and I'm like, I don't care. I would rather watch someone with 3 viewers who's a human than all these people who look like digital Disney characters.
Oh,
I
someone
just
with no cam, just sitting
yeah.
there doing nothing. I'm gonna watch that person over the weird characters.
No, Beat Saber no cam's fine. If it's a first person view and you're freaking crushing it, I'll watch you all day. Like I love watching people who are amazing at Beat Saber. There are certain games that I love watching, and like that's one. I love watching people play Beat Saber who are amazing. I love watching people play Mario who are amazing. Like I love Mario hacks like Kaizo Mario and all that crap. Like the people who like, you have to like bounce off of 35 turtle shells and do this stupid thing, like all that crazy pixel perfect jumps, just stuff that I'm like, I don't know. I know that it would take me like a lifetime to like master one level, and they're just like banging out 20 levels and like no problem. I don't know. I find that fascinating. And shmups. I love watching people who are amazing at shmups because I think it's just amazing. It's quite the skill.
I think that's the thing that like kills me about, especially like Kaizo Mario and all this like absurdly hard stuff that people create. Like, there's not enough time in the day, and there's so many games to play. There's no way I'm going to dedicate several months of my time to try to clear a level or something like that. Like, I could finish so many RPGs in that time.
But then if you speak to someone who's playing it, then that's all they're focused on. They don't want to play any other games. They just want to grind that game, become the best at it, and good on them. I find the same with Trackmania. I don't play it, but I love watching like the best players in the world play Trackmania. Oh my god, that's insane.
I kind of feel that way about speedrunning too, honestly.
Yeah, it 100% is, because like speedrunners have spent years and years playing the same game, doing the exact same thing, getting that 0.01% faster each time. And you really got to respect it. I've been playing GeoGuessr seriously for like almost 9 months now, and there's speedrunners in this game, and like I still can't fathom how they do some of the things that they do. It's just absolutely insane. But I'm sure 10 years down the line, if I'm still playing, that'd just be the norm, because you eventually, your body gets used to it. You get those muscle movements used to it, and things just become natural. I know when you play a game for an extra long period of time, and you'll see someone doing something, you'll eventually reach out to that person. How do you do this? And you learn those little skills and different things like that. Communities are good too. Like most communities share discoveries on speed running when glitches get found or new moves get discovered that you can do to improve times and different things like that.
Yeah, I think someone recently found another Ocarina of Time skip, right? Like, I think I saw that in my feed a couple of weeks ago.
I seen this morning there
They
was
somehow
Doom
managed to
World
make the
record
game
broken.
like less than 15 minutes.
The Doom World records now dropped from 5 to 4 seconds.
What? To be Doom?
Yeah.
What? How do you what? All right, I gotta see how that's even. Absurd.
Like the OG Doom, it's 4 seconds now.
Yeah, that's fascinating to me. But I kind of get it because this shit just shows you people are passionate about stuff. First off, like they love that. Like you don't get that good at Mario if you don't just love Mario, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't get that good at shmups unless you just legitimately love it. Like nobody puts that much time into anything if it's not like just something they truly are passionate about. Like, I don't know. I find that admirable. And also like for me, I don't know about you guys, but like it was weird. Like when I was a kid and I played games, like stuff like this that didn't even cross my mind. Like it was like possible. Like I used to go to the arcade and I'd play a shmup. I didn't think you could actually beat the damn game on like 1/4. I didn't think that was a thing. I didn't think that was humanly possible. Like I'm like, no, these games you just die a lot, and that's just how they are. Like you just continue a lot and you beat them if you're willing to pay $5.
So how
Like
about like machines that had high scores? Because that would be similar to it.
So it was weird at the arcades. Like I was never there when the high score was put in the machine. So you'd see the high scores and you'd be like, I don't know how that's even possible, if that's even true. But like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. It's hard to describe what
Bullshit! I can't do that.
It's just it's not that I couldn't do it. I never tried to because I didn't think it was humanly possible. It'd be like if you were like, do you want to fly with your wings like a bird? I'd be like, no, you can't do that. Humans can't do that. And then all of a sudden you see somebody just fly by. Hey, You're like, holy shit, you can do that. That's actually, well, I'm gonna try to practice. I didn't know. And so that's what happened with me with shmups, is like I started seeing like these 1cc runs of people, and I'm like, you can do that for real? Or you can actually get this good at these games and do that? I'm like, I've got to try. And then like I just kept doing it until I finally beat one. And like it was such a good feeling, and like just changed my whole like worldview of games. Like of why, I don't know, like that's when I started getting addicted to like the challenge of certain games. Like regular games, like they're fun, but like now I'm like, no, I want it to be like some stupid thing where I'm like, I like no death runs, or I like one credit clears, or people who are like, I'm gonna beat the game without jumping. No jumping. Just gonna run through this motherfucker. Like some stupid thing. Like I love that stuff now. Like I think it's fun. And it's another way to like relive some of the old games too, and go back and like breathe some life into old things if you try to do it. Like, Contra is fun again if you're trying to beat it without cheating. Like back in the day when I was a kid, we just put the code in and we beat it. And that was it. And people like, did you beat it? I'm like, yeah. Now I would never say I beat the game unless I actually beat it. Like I didn't cheat at all. Like that's like actually beating it. You know what I mean? That makes sense.
I'm into that, but I find my reasons different. I find it's for the euphoria you get when you do overcome these things. Like I love my Dark Souls series, and I love getting stuck on a boss, which sounds funny, but I love getting stuck on a boss, grinding it out, and finally beating that boss. And that feeling you get when you do, I can't get that from any other game. So you can, but it's very rare that you can get that feeling from other games. I remember when I first started playing PUBG, it was really hard, and when I would win a game, I would get that feeling again, and that's what got me into PUBG. So it's an interesting getting that, like it's almost like a sport euphoria. Like I used to get it playing sport when I was a kid all the time. You're in a race and you win the race, or you're blah 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 playing a rugby game or something. But in video games, it's different because most video games hold your hand and play along, blah blah blah. They don't kick you to the ground and push you when you're down. And those ones that do, when you do overcome them, and you've been stuck on it for ages, all your mates are stuck on it as well, and you finally beat it doing the exact same shit that you always did, but you just did a little bit better. It feels amazing.
Yeah, I think that feeling, like especially in like the realm of RPGs, right? Seventh Saga immediately comes to mind, and it's a game that like hardly anyone says they've ever finished because it's legitimately broken. Like it's literally programmed wrong, right? So getting through that like several years ago was that exact feeling of holy shit. Like I went through with like the worst fucking character I could have picked. Of course, I picked the alien, and like all of his stats are garbage. And he has like the worst stat growth in the game, but you finally get to that final boss and you hear the music and you're pumped and the heart's racing, and you finally do that one thing that throws off all the RNG and like really like throws the whole game for a loop, and you finally beat it. And it's like, fuck, like holy shit, I did this.
Genuine like scream of let's fucking go.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was gonna say, or when you were talking about Dark Souls. Like, have you ever like freaking just like got profanity lacing tirade against someone after you beat it? And so you're like, yeah, that's right, you motherfucker. I do that all the time. Like when I finally beat someone, that's like, it literally is like beating your worst enemy in real life. It feels so good. It's like,
I actually had that moment happen yesterday in a game of GeoGuess where I just did a really good Brazil guess in a region that I've never seemed to get. This one region, and finally fucking got it. I won the game, and I just got out, went, let's fucking go. Feels good. No one was watching. Feels good.
So that's funny. The Seventh Saga game, I played that when I was a kid. Me and my brother had that. We played that, and like I never finished it. Not because I got stuck or anything. It was just I never did. And so I always remember being like, I had like pretty fond memories of that game. And like now I hear a lot of people being like, it's like the most impossible game. And it's so broken. And so I'm like, oh, I'm glad I walked away from that one in a little, because I never, because yeah, it's like a you're just one player in that. You don't get a party, right? You're just one character the whole time, right? In that game.
No, you do get a partner. Like you get a partner, one partner.
You get
like if you don't pick Valzu as your partner, you're fucked. The whole game is screwed. But like the fundamental problem with the game is like as you level up, the enemies level up more than you do. So their stat growth is better than your growth is ever going to be. So you have to like really balance out with the areas you're at, how far you can level, because you can't over level. If you over level, you're fucked. Like there's no way around it.
Strong. Wow, that's messed up.
Yeah.
I kind of like that mechanic
It makes it a very unique, interesting information, like title, right? Like it's such a weird feeling to say that you beat a legitimately broken game.
Yeah.
Was it Faxanadu? I think it's Faxanadu. Like that's another one of those games. It's there's an item in the game that's supposed to like have the, I can't remember, either you're supposed to double your damage or half the HP of the enemies or something like that. But if you pick it up, it does the opposite. Like it's complete opposite. So it's like it like literally makes the game harder if you get this item. And like I never knew that as a kid, and I got it every damn time. I'm like, cool, got my jam. You know what I mean? Like, but oh, so stupid. But yeah, that's another one that was like it's like actually broken. God, I can't remember. It's like
games
a
continue with that
or
mechanic.
something.
Elden Ring have a thing in the game which I didn't know my first playthrough. You're in the hub land and you talk to all the characters, and one of them gives you a hug. You don't realize it, but this hug like puts this thing on you, and you have less health, or the enemies are stronger or something, until you like manually go into your inventory and remove it. And I didn't know this the first time I played the game, and I'm stuck on this boss, and I've got this like extra hard mode on, and I didn't even know.
That's hilarious.
It does make for a great joke.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure Miyazaki's watching people on Twitch go, look at this guy stuck, and he's got the fucking thing on, and he doesn't even realize.
That's so funny, dude.
Speaking of Souls, has anyone played the Stellar Blade demo by chance?
No, not yet. I'm definitely looking forward to playing it when it comes out, though. Have you played it?
It is remarkable. Like, and the reason I bring it up to like transition off the Dark Souls thing is you can immediately, and I didn't know this till the wife told me. She was like, you can go in immediately from the start of the demo and take your armor off and like look at this very fleshy colored suit, right? Like, very scantily clad, like kind of thing, eye candy sort of thing. And what it does is it basically makes the game into more like a Soulsborne game, because you take like 50% more damage or something, and it's legitimately fun.
When you've got no armor?
No, you're not faster or anything. Like it just is. Hey, your reward for eye candy is the game is harder. Congratulations.
I kind of like that in a way. That's fun.
Yeah, it's a great mechanic.
It's like you want to be a little pervy, that's fine, but I'm just gonna be a little harder. You
got to pay the price.
It's a fair trade, to be honest with you.
I've seen some good receptions behind that game and like the eye candy that they put in and blah blah blah, and people are like, this is what we want in video games. Do this. Let's hope it's so.
It's quite an interesting thing that there's like people are like, can you believe that dudes play video games, number one? Oh my god. And number two, can you believe they like boobies and they like bums? Can you believe what?
I know, right?
What is going on? Like, what is going on? Like, yeah.
I think the biggest shock to me was like, have you seen the IGN, I think it's IGN France article where they say, oh, this is just the male power fantasy, and these dudes that made this game have never seen a woman. Meanwhile, like one of the main art directors is a female. The shit writes itself. It's hilarious.
I recall that the girls in the game are actually like modeled after real people. Like they got real people.
It's the main developer's wife.
And their bodies and put them in the game, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's like for some reason they don't believe that beautiful women exist. It's like it's strange. It's like that representation matters, but only if it's ugly things. Nothing beautiful can be represented. We can't have anything nice. Only it has to be someone who's like deformed or missing a leg or in a wheelchair or has like an extra eyeball. That's fine. We have to include that, but we can't have anything nice or beautiful. We can't have a beautiful woman. That has to be excluded. We can't have
women
that.
With large boobies do not exist. That's what they say.
It's preposterous, and and it's just like if you're trying to start a war between men liking boobs, like you're gonna lose.
Sorry.
It's just it's a non-starter. It's a non-starter, and
It's a human natural
Mhm.
instinct. Like that's what your first thing from when you're a baby is to go to that, and
Yes.
it's a natural instinct.
Now, I will say that, like, this is what I'll say to you. It's not like the most important thing in the world that like the girls are in the game are insanely hot or whatever. Like, I played Returnal. You ever play Returnal? You play that game?
Hmm.
And the girl the main character, she's hideous. She's hideous, in my opinion. I just find the character design like hideous, like physically unattractive. But I love that game. So it's not like it ruined the game. I don't care. But let me just tell you something. If Returnal had a character in it that looked like the other girls, I would have clearly enjoyed that more. Like, that's just the truth. Like, I don't see why like making characters less attractive on purpose is like, what does that accomplish? Like, I literally don't understand. Like, what is the point? Like, I
Well, why
don't
don't
get
they
it.
make multiple characters and let us pick? If we want to play as the really attractive or the really weird looking person, we can.
Okay, so this is what I was gonna make a video about this. If I was actually thinking about doing this, but like my solution to all of this is every game gets a woke slider. You know how they have a slider where you can like make yourself taller or you can make yourself shorter? You know what I mean? It could be a slider. So it's just so if you go like all the way to the right or whatever, it's just like you're like pure MAGA hat wearing, red, white, and like shooting American eagles, fucking just rah American. And then if you go the other way, it's nothing but rainbow flags and just cock rings and fucking communist flags, and you could just pick whatever you guys want. So that way everyone can just have what they want. They can play the game they want to play, and everyone can stop crying. You could just have whoever you can have all straight people on this end, and then everybody just this gay orgies on this end, however you guys want. Just have a slider. And then we're
We can
all
see
happy.
like Saints Row doing that or some edgy company like that.
I think that would be fantastic. And if you're a normal human being, you won't even touch it. You'll just leave it where it is because you don't care. It'll be right in the middle. Like you could just play Mario like normal, but then if you want, you can play like super woke Mario.
Super redneck Mario.
You know,
Yeehaw.
just like Toad with Antifa flags, and all that shit. And then you could have like fucking
Oh my god, get me rolling.
Oh, that one broke me.
hey, I just want to make peace. I just want to make peace between the everybody fighting about games. It's the most stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Everyone wants to fight about video games. I'm like, nah, dude. Sorry.
Yeah,
But
I use this shit to escape all of that. I don't want to see it, right? Like keep all the things out of my games. Let me go into my little corner of the universe and escape everything in the real world.
Yeah, exactly. If I wanted that shit, I'd keep scrolling on Twitter or Facebook or something. I go to video games to escape reality,
Yes.
I would just go read Kotaku or something.
This is what I say. I don't want a bunch of reality injected into my fantasy, and I don't want a bunch of fantasy rejected into my reality. And I think there's a people who have it backwards. They seem to want reality to be cuckoo land, and they want games to be political activism. I'm like, no. Let's reverse all this. Let's make the games and the fantasy and the TV shows just not have anything to do with modern day politics at all. And then in reality, let's try to keep like we're not like the people who are like, I'm a wood elf and my pronouns are woof 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 doop, and I'm a sprite from a magic jungle. Like people who say shit like this, I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Like I'm like, we've lost the plot, people. Like you've gone too far. You don't live in reality anymore. We've gone too far. We've lost the plot.
I've started seeing videos and I've had to look at them and be like, is this even real? Are these just staged these days?
Of course.
Some of them are that bad that it's like, how do people even like believe this? Is it people in foreign countries who don't speak English properly and they're trying to like learn English through these videos? Or like who is watching this? And then you look at it, it's like 50 million views. And it's like clearly some staged thing and it's just like,
It's a
But there's
grift.
so
A lot
many
of
of
it's a
them
grift.
these days. So Facebook's the worst. I don't go on Facebook anymore. But every time I do, it's just like, what is this shit?
So one of the things I think that's going on, especially in gaming journalism right now, is that like as across the media in general is dying, not just games journalism, like print journalism, regular TV, newspapers, magazines, like it's all go circling the drain. And so like these people now, I feel like they don't even believe the shit that they're writing. They don't even believe this crazy woke shit that they're saying. Like they're just stirring the pot, trying to like shit stir to get like people talking about their website again because that's the only type of attention they can get. Like nobody cares about them at all. So they come out and they'll just say absurd things, just like, people, women are going to die because of Stellar Blade. I'm like, no, they're not. No one is. No one's going to die. That is like you're just saying wild things to get a reaction from people. It's just like it's like purposefully absurd, just so that normal people go, "Oh my god, are you serious?" And then they make videos, and it's like free advertising. To me, it has to be. It's too absurd. Some of the things that like I'm seeing now, it's absurd. It's like, oh god, what was the one the other day? Like, I don't even remember. It was like somebody said something about the plot of Zelda being some absurd thing. I couldn't even remember. It was so stupid. I can't even remember it. My brain refused to store the information. It was just too dumb. But yeah, that's
I think.
my point of view. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you've literally described what Kotaku's done for the last 10 years, right? Like, I don't know if you follow. Is it Grums, I believe, but I think he pointed out at the game developers conference, there's like a whole giant block to like all of these ideologies in gaming, and it's like, what are we doing here? Like, literally, what are we doing here? We're fueling the fire for all these websites to just be like, let's let's change everything, and then why can't we just focus on making games fun?
If you want to be an activist, go be an activist. You can be a political activist, and you can also make video games and be a political activist and keep that shit separate. You can do that. Look, you can.
There's plenty of people that do have very strong political sides and make video games,
correct,
and don't push their political views on their viewers because they know they're alienating 50% of it. Like,
that's not the point. You're making a game is to entertain people. That is what your job is. You're not doing your job if you're doing an activism. You're not doing your job correctly. You are. I don't know how it's just not what you're supposed to do. It's like you could be a school teacher, right? And during the day, go to school and teach kids and be normal. And on the weekends, you could be in a brutal death metal band and pour blood all over your head and worship and light fires and be like, say that, and be like crazy. It doesn't matter, but you shouldn't mix the two. You shouldn't do that at school with the kids. That's not your fucking job. So just because you love this thing and you love metal and you're a crazy motherfucker, that's fine. You just don't need to mix these two worlds. And that these people, they just don't get it. They do not understand what their job is, and that they can't mix their personal feelings and their personal interest and inject that shit into the games. It's like, that's not what we're here for. And Asmongold said something really poignant in one of his videos recently, which it's just so true. It's that what I don't think any of these people understand is that they literally think that people need to be lectured and talked down to like 4-year-olds for some reason. Like the very presumption that these people make that they need to tell you that you shouldn't be mean or you shouldn't be this or you shouldn't be that. Like, who the fuck do you think you are to tell me that, like, child? You haven't been on this planet for like half the amount of time as me, first of all. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And second of all, the very presumption that you need to say that to me is insane and condescending and rude. You're crazy. It'd be like if I went up to people all the time and I would be like, hey, I just want to remind you, you probably shouldn't like beat people to death and rape people. You shouldn't do that. I'm just letting you know. Just throwing that out there. You'd be like, okay, thanks. Why the hell are you telling me that? What the hell? What did I do? Why would you even suggest that? Why would you presume that I need to be told that? That's the big problem. That's why everybody hates all this crap. It's because nobody wants to be lectured to and talk like this. Like it's absurd. Oh my god. Like it's so condescending. It is
I
so
agree with you.
condescending,
It
dude.
is.
Like, get out of here, dude. Go away. And so now a bunch of people who are just like literally all they've said is they said, you know what? You guys can do whatever you want. You make whatever you. They're not even saying you want to make crazy games. You want to make all this ridiculous. Go ahead. All we want to do is write down what games you're working on, so we don't give you money because we're tired of being talked to like this, and we're tired of being treated this way as a consumer who pays your bills. Fuck you. I'm sick of giving my money to people who clearly hate me and dislike me for some reason.
So
You know
I
what I
cannot
mean?
wait for next year to come around and Grand Theft Auto to come out. And every single one of these people to like absolutely hate the game because it's everything that they don't want.
Good. It better be. I hope so. I hope Grand Theft
From
Auto
from
is
the
the most
trailer,
offensive
I'm
game
pretty
ever.
sure we're gonna get a crude, controversial game because that's what Rockstar do.
I hope so. I do. I hope it's like so offensive.
I think that's one of the great things about like Japanese developers too, because they just don't give a shit, and that's one of the reasons I really love JRPGs. They don't play into all this stuff. They just make fucking good games that I can immerse 100 hours in and be like, "Damn, that was real good," and be done with it. I can then go recommend them to people, and they have a great time too, and we can stop doing all this other nonsense.
100%. Look at Tears of the Kingdom. There's nothing political at all in that game. It was just 200 hours of fucking awesome content, and that was it.
And then you've got the opposite of people in like Western journalism trying to make problems out of like Dragon Quest 11, for example, is like people try to make problems about oh gosh, what's his name? His name escapes me right now for some reason. Sylvando, I believe. But like he's very flamboyant, but it never comes out in the game and says he's gay because they don't need to, right? Like he can just be flamboyant, and everybody's like getting behind him, and they're like, he's our representation, and it's like, but they literally never said any of that. So like you're just applying a label to a character that, quite frankly, like no one said a word about. And quite frankly, I love Sylvando because he's so flamboyant and ridiculous. I used him in my party in the entire game. I love him to death. But it's not about like his label, it's about his character and how he interacts and his story. His story is so incredibly sad, and he's just a fun character. Like you can write characters like this and make them interesting without slapping a label on them and saying, "Cool, checkbox, done."
And I'm sure that
Japan does not do it.
They made this character without the label. Like they just made the character fit all these different things. Yeah, they probably didn't even think about that, and it wasn't until these other people started saying, "Oh, blah blah blah," and this is that that the developer went, "Really? This is just a cool video game, and that's one of the characters in it. What do you mean?"
So that's a huge part of what separates like good diversity in games from other types of things is if you have a character who happens to be diverse, whatever the hell you label you want to put on it, if the story is good and the character is good, that's all that matters. What the problem is that a lot of the time the story is about the character's identity. That is the story, and that's fucking boring. I don't like when I see a black character, sometimes I'm like, oh God, when are we going to see the episode of the part where it's going to be like, well, here comes Mr. Racist, comes along, going to be real racist to the black person because that's so hard for them to be like, oh God, here it comes. And then it's like the gay character, like their story is about they're gay and they get fired because they're gay and they have to do this because like that is the story.
Be discriminated against.
That exactly. That's the story about, oh man, blah blah blah, and that shit is played out. Like it was a fascinating story in 1994, dudes. Okay, but like it's not in 2024. It is boring. And so that's why people reject this crap and they're sick of it because they just know it's not going to be a good story. It's going to be the same old lecturing nonsense that we've seen a million times where it's just always like character cutout, like insert MAGA hat wearing guy with the redneck shirt being like, I'm gonna shoot you, you darn brown people. Or it's like, here we go. It's like always the same crap over and over again. And after, it's just like, dude, I'm sick of
Like
it.
what I said before with the videos that I'm seeing on Facebook. I seen one yesterday and it was very similar to what you just said. It was this little dark boy and he was in a wheelchair. It was an innocent kid, 13, had an Xbox in his hand, and there was a white lady police officer being racist. And it was clearly staged, fake. She didn't even have proper police outfit on that I could tell, but they're portraying this for a different audience and they're trying to get the clicks. And it had millions of views. And I'm watching this like, who is watching this? And how can you not see this is the most, for one, it's a ridiculous story because they're portraying like the ultimate of this isn't going to happen. But like, all right.
You can watch any modern show, and in the first 5 minutes, you can be like, that guy's going to be the bad guy. That girl's going to turn out to be a douchebag. That person's going to be. You can just tell from the way they cast the show who's going to be the bad guys and the good guys and what the plot's going to be. Like you could just tell. Like, as another one that I've talked about this a million times. Like, if there's a character who's like Christian who has like a cross, they're going to be crazy. They're going to turn out to be the one that tries to burn everybody alive in the bus or drown the babies in the river because Jesus said so. They're always going to turn out to be crazy.
Well,
always, like every single thing, dude. It's so stupid.
I can't relate because I haven't watched a TV show in 15 years.
Well, it's the same with movies, really. Like movies even today are super boring, but like you have to really dig for those really special films that might try to introduce a trope and then turn it on its head. Like I just watched Late Night with the Devil, fantastic film. Starts to do a couple of really tropey things in the very beginning because it's a quote unquote possession movie. But like as you go on, the trope of possession is really not the main point of the film. And then by the time you get to the last like 20, 30 minutes, you're like, holy shit, this is something way fucking different. And it does it in a way that like introduces bits and pieces like in really short bursts. And then it just smacks you in the face and says, by the way, here's your plot. And it's just mind blowing how good that film is.
Nice. I can't say I watch movies anymore because I've just been turned off them in the last decade or so. But that sounds really good.
Sorry, I lost my audio.
All right. Do you guys want to talk about emulation? It's just been announced that Apple are going to allow emulators on the iOS store, which is pretty big news. Considering Apple are the one company that don't like doing any of this. We're going to be playing Pokemon games on our iPhones. So.
For how long? How long before it gets shut down?
Yeah, before we see Nintendo take on Apple in a lawsuit.
So I mean, I've had emulators on my Android for like years.
Yeah, they're on Androids, and that's
I always thought that was actually neat. Like I remember that was like one of the first things I did, like when smartphones came out, is I put like a bunch of PS1 RPGs on my phone because I loved RPGs. You didn't need a controller; you could actually play it with the touchscreen, and it would be fine. You know what I mean? But like, you can play Mario that way. Trying to play with this stupid touchscreen on your phone.
You can play Stardew Valley like that. It's so bad.
Yeah, it's tough. I ended up so for a while that's what I did. I played like all those games, and then I got one of those Moga controllers. Have you ever seen those? The little Bluetooth things for your phone.
Yeah.
And I did that for a while, but then I realized if you game on your phone, the battery dies very quickly, and so it just doesn't really work for me. It's not that great because I don't want my phone battery to be dead in 3 hours and be like, shit, now I'm like in the middle of the day with no phone.
Or constantly be charging your phone to play games. When if you own consoles and PCs, what are you doing playing games on your phone? Like, games on the phone are for people who don't have anything else. And then good on you. If you that's all you got, then have fun. But if you got a console at home, play the console. Come on.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's neat if they're going to be on Apples. I mean, that's cool. I'm for emulation. Like I support it. I'm a huge, it's fun. People always think that because I'm into physical collecting, I don't like digital games or I don't like emulation, and I'm not at all like that. Like I'm a huge fan of emulation because it's absurd how much these retro games cost. Like, it's just unreasonable to expect people to play like, you know, the cost for these games. And I want people to play the games. So like, I think it's cool. I hope kids do get emulators and throw them on their iPhones and decide to play some Nintendo games. I think that's awesome.
And then it brings up a second point: when games do get expensive, you can own them. But if you own a game that's $2,000, you probably won't want to play it because you're worried that you might scratch it or something. So you want to play the emulated version. It like has that double-edged sword.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean that's something that like recently I've even considered. I really wanted to spin up another playthrough of Kuon, and that game's like, I don't know, $900 now, and it's really ridiculous. Do I really want to drag my PS2 out? No, not really. I'll just throw it on the Steam Deck, which is a great emulation piece, by the way. Like, fantastic. I've just played what is it, Forever Kingdom, I think, which is, you know, adjacent to like a Dark Souls from the PS2, and it ran fine. It was great. I had a great time. I mean, the battery life, again, kind of like you said with your phone, it's not great, but like if I'm sitting here on the couch, right, I can just plug it
Good
up.
for retro
and
games.
It's fine.
The Steam Deck can handle retro pretty well. It's just, it sucks for modern games. Like, that's what's so funny. They're like, oh, you could play PS4 games on your Steam Deck. I'm like, yeah, for about 45 minutes. And then it melts all the hair off your testicles because it's 4,000 degrees, and then it dies because the battery dies. So there you go. And it's like, woo, so it's like a jet engine because it's like, oh man, I remember like my girlfriend couldn't even play Slime Rancher on the damn thing. It just couldn't handle it. It was like so hot.
Yeah, you could probably cook an egg on that thing.
Yeah,
That's
so
wild.
But
That would make a good video: cooking an egg on a Steam Deck.
it is great for shmups, and it's great for retro. Like, I emulate. I primarily use it as an emulation for retro.
I feel like
and I
indie
love it.
games work well on it and different things.
Yeah, like in Binding of Isaac, you can play Dead Cells. There's lots of like stuff that work fine. You just, you know, if you want to play huge open world AAA games like news, it's not going to do a great. It'll just die quick, and it'll actually play. It'll look great for like an hour, then it'll die. Yeah, or you could gimp it. You can go in and you know, nerf all the settings, and it'll get a little bit. But I don't know. I'd rather like, so I don't. That's just not what I use my Steam Deck for. I have my PS5 for anything graphically challenging. That's like what I do. Like any game that's like new, cutting edge, like I really care about how it looks, I play on the PS5. And then like I'll play like indie games and like, you know, 8-bit, 12 or 16-bit inspired games. I play them on the Switch or the Steam Deck. Yeah.
I'm the same, plus the PC for modern games as well.
The Steam Deck is cracked though. I highly recommend everyone get one though. I've played more like retro games in the last like year and a half since I bought that than a long time, because it's just like, I don't know, it's fun just to throw up the NES library and be like, you know what, I will play DuckTales 2 for a little while. Just toss it on there. Like, it's different than like you said, like going to get the console out, hooking it up, getting the control, you know, getting the cartridge. Like, I'm lazy, but if you're just
Get
like,
your old
it's
CRT
all-
out of storage. And...
yeah. But if it's
Yeah,
all
that's
just
what
like,
I was gonna say. Like having the CRT readily available in the room with you, it just takes up a lot of space, right? Like I just recently tossed out a CRT because the tubes were going bad, but like that's a whole nother problem. Am I gonna go get another one to replace it just so I can pop the Super Nintendo on? No, probably not. And most modern TVs don't support anything lower than like 480, and all those consoles run on like 240 or less. So I'm just going to emulate it and call it a day.
Yeah, spot on. And you can get adapters and stuff, but like I've tried that on my PS2 and it looks like shit.
dude, just
And it
spend, like,
responds
Playing
like
a better
shit, too.
version on the PC, emulating it. You take away the load times. You've got hard drives or SSDs as save files, so you don't have to worry about memory cards. Like the load time is the biggest thing. I went to play Scarface the other day on the PS2, and I'm playing it, and I'm like, you know, this is crap. And I tried it on the PC, and I'm like, this is so much better. It like loads in 5 seconds and looks great, and I can plug a controller in and use an Xbox controller if I want. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
I can save state every time I get ready to fuck something up.
Yeah.
my girlfriend and I we love Need for Speed. It was like the exact same thing. We threw the actual Need for Speed on a PS2 with like a pound cable on the HDMI, and the load times we were just like, oh my god, and it's just killing us. And then we threw it in the Steam Deck, and first of all, you can upscale them and make it 60 frames per second, make everything look freaking amazing. And so that alone was, I mean, but the load times, oh, God, is that so much faster playing it that way? Just a million times better. So, yeah, I'm a fan of the emulation. I love Steam Decks. I tell everybody to get one. I think it's just like life changing. Also, like, I truly think that we're like in this golden area right now where you can get ROMs very easily. I don't think that's going to stay that way.
No, I
Like,
agree with you. I agree
I
with you.
think that these companies are going to start getting pissier and pissier about it. And like Nintendo, what they're going to do is they're going to release like a new NES classic with like another different 50 games on it and take down all the websites. And they're going to keep doing shit like that to say like, see, we do sell these games. We don't win. They're going to, and because of their stupid Switch online service that they want people to push people, so they're going to, I just think it's going to get harder in the future to get them. Not that it'll be impossible if you're part of a good BitTorrent site. I'm sure you can get them or something. It's not going to be, they're out there. They're not getting scrubbed from the internet.
I like to relate it to music and movies.
Mhm.
How easy was it to get music and movies 15 years ago? It was the easiest thing in the world to download all this shit for free. Today, it's not. It's I don't download this stuff for free. I pay the $5 a month to get my music because it's more convenient. But back in the day, I was downloading it all for free. I feel like ROM emulation will be like that. We'll have PlayStation emulation store or Nintendo emulation store.
99 cents for every game for download, something like that.
For a month.
I do quite miss the LimeWire days, and now it's just a shit coin.
Yeah. Frostwire and that was the shit.
So
downloading a 4-minute song that took like an hour.
And then you downloaded it, and it was actually that voice clip of Bill Clinton saying, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, but I did get a free MP3 from freemp3.com." I was like, "No, get this shit out of here! God. I don't want this."
Or clips of like Britney Spears or South Park or something. Oh, I've heard them all.
And just forget downloading a video. Like, you want to download a music video? Dude, fuck that. It was like a week because they'd be back on like a 56K modem, right? It was like, your estimated wait time is 7 days. Like, nope, no thanks. I'm out. I'm going to go play RuneScape. The only thing that could run on.
Oh, we lost you for a sec.
Hey. Do you remember when we had like on and off peak data times? And it would be like, I'd have to wake up at 2 a.m. and you could download music until 6 a.m. because that was the fast internet time. As soon as that 6 a.m. hit, the speed like cut down like 400% or something.
That's crazy.
I'd literally be awake all night downloading music, and then I go to bed and like sleep all day. It's like a 12-year-old on holidays.
Yeah, I remember it would just, everything took 1,000 years to download. Like, I used to download shows. It would like take like a day to get an episode. But that's just my point. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you have any interest at all in emulation at all, like, I would get on it sooner than later. Fill up a few hard drives of ROMs that you like, just because easier to have them, better to have them now than not to have them later. Like, I constantly go through and that's another thing too. Like, I don't know about you, but curating my Steam Deck and finding games for that and downloading games and trying them out, that's just as fun as collecting games in a lot of the ways. Like, it's just as fun of a hobby. I prefer obviously having physical games for all sorts of reasons, but like, I can try games out that I would never ever have a chance of playing because of emulation. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like not going to be buying a PAL PS1 and buying a bunch of PAL PS1 games to try them out at this point in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not happening. I'm not trying it, but I could try them all out on my Steam Deck. And like, if I really like a game, I can order it physically and still play it on a PC through a disk drive, like through DuckStation. It works just like a PlayStation would. So I don't know. I'm a fan.
Well, you nailed something there, Joe. Like emulation gives you a chance to play games that you can't. Like I played NBA Elite 11 on my PC. It's like a $15,000 PS3 game that I'm never gonna own, but I've played it, and that's really fucking cool. You know, if you want to play it too, you can emulate it, and it's a terrible game, but you can play it.
Yeah, and
There's plenty
sometimes
of games out there like that.
sometimes there'll be games that are very expensive, and like you might be like, I want this game, I want this in my collection, and then you just play it and you're like, dude, fuck this game. This game's terrible. I do not want to play this game. It does not live up to the hype. Oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't spend that much money on this game. I do not like it. Like that's happened to me. Or the
That
opposite could happen where I'll be like, this game's expensive. I'm gonna try it out. And I'll be like, oh man, they right. This is good. I really should buy this. It's worth
Have
every
you done
penny.
the opposite where you buy an expensive game and then you play it and you're like, oh, this is shit.
Exactly. That's what would happen normally.
that shit right there.
No, I don't want that to happen. I'm no. That's a bad feeling.
I
The first
really
one
wish
that
that
comes to mind,
I
Sorry, Morgan.
Talk good, man.
I really wish that, like, I bought a copy of Kai Flying Squadron, which it is stupid expensive. Like at the time that I bought it, I think that was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was $1,000. It's like, this is dumb. I had an opportunity to buy it. I said, yeah, fuck it, I'll buy it, sure. And like I got home and I was like pondering it, and it's like maybe I should just play it. And I didn't have a Sega CD. I still don't have a Sega CD for that reason. Emulated it, and quite frankly, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like it's fine, but there's no reason this should be $1,000. And now it's like double or triple that cost. Like, nah, no thanks. I'm out. I feel the same way about Snatcher. I know that I'm gonna get like hate comments about that one, but Snatcher, honestly, not worth $1,000. Not even probably worth the 500 that I paid back in the day. It's okay.
Well, I guess some of the reasons these games are expensive is because they're bad games, right? They're bad games at launch, got a bad review, no one bought any copies. You know, the store struggled to sell out, and then because of that, it's become rare down the line. Like that is a really common instance in video game collecting. I know for me, I spent a lot of money on Africa for PS3, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a go. Sounds cool. I like Pokemon Snap. You get African animals driving around safari. This will be fun. It's not fun. You don't even get to drive the car.
It's boring.
Like a rail train thing, and it's like you pull up to it, press X to take a photo. I'm like, what? I just want freedom to like go and take photos of whatever I want. But no, they've made it terrible.
No,
Mario,
you're going to have to go down to the drinking hole and take pictures of elephants while they're drinking water, and that's your mission for the day. Then you go back to your tent. I've played it recently too, and it's really not very good.
And they could have just made it really simple, and it would have been fun. But they made it like these missions like that, and it's awful. Mario nailed it with Godzilla. Like Godzilla's nailed it on the head. It's highly expensive, terrible game. Perfect. And then I've heard people who will platinum the game, and it's like worst experience of my gaming life was platinuming that game. It's like, why did you do it?
Pride. People are into weird, like the passion. That's what I was talking about earlier. The passion. So yeah, that's why like emulation can be a good thing. Now, if you're a true collector, it probably doesn't matter how good the game is. It's like that's different. They're like I don't know. Like I always talk about like there's gamers, there's collectors, right? There's people who are both, and there's kind of people who lean more one way or the other. And like I still am fighting to be leaning more towards the gamer than the collector. I'm still in the fight that I still believe psychologically that I'm gonna play all these damn games. It's not gonna happen, but I just pretend, okay? So like I try to like lean into like not buying games that are super expensive unless I actually love the game and I really want to have them in the collection. And there are games like that. There are still like I actually really liked the King's Quest games and the Shadow Tower games on
Oh, I'd
PS1.
love to
Like
own them.
I want to own them. Like, and it's funny because like I was like, oh, these games probably suck, and like I've played them, and the controls are really awkward and they were really goofy. But like once I got used to them, I'm like, oh man, I'm having a lot of fun. Like I actually really like this. This is right up my alley because I'm a big RPG guy too, by the way, like huge RPG guy. But like I like some of the serious nerdy ones. Like I'd like Ultimas and I like Might and Magic and I like the Dungeon and Dragons types ones, the ones that are really stat heavy and they're not really flashy and it's a lot of math and stats and sheets and maps and papers and I like that nerdy crap. And so like I don't know, I've always leaned towards like games like that. What type of like I don't know. Do you have like a specific type of RPG that you like more than others? I know it's kind of a hard thing. But if you're really into the genre, I think you kind of know what I mean. Like you into like the futuristic ones? Do you like turn-based ones? Do you like action ones? What do you like?
It typically tends to be the turn-based stuff that I'm more of a fan of. Action RPGs are, I don't know, they feel kind of dime a dozen, and they're really easy to make very boring. It's hard to make a really truly good action RPG. Like turn-based stuff is like I'm kind of like you, right? Like the more math, the better. The more stat manipulation and equipment manipulation that we can do. Like that is my crack. I
Mhm.
need that in my
The
life.
more complex the
So
level system is, the better.
absolutely. I did want to go back to your comment on Shadow Tower. Like, okay, you said you played it, yeah?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it, dude. I didn't know what to do most of the
Oh,
time, but I loved it. That was creepy as hell.
I did like the exploration, but like I still couldn't get over the fact that every time you swung your weapon, you lost your entire endurance meter. That drove me up the wall to the point where
Mhm.
like after 6 or 7 hours, I just kind of dropped it. I feel the same way about Kingsfield too. Like
Mhm.
all of that just seems it's
Oh,
too
what did I say?
slow
King's
for
Quest?
me. But I get the appreciation.
You can
Yeah.
see how that turned into the Soul series, though. Like it uses similar
Oh,
gimmickry,
100%.
and they took them from these games. And
Yeah,
Kingsfield
so
walked so that Dark Souls could run.
yeah, Demon
there
Souls was a little like toddler growing up. Did things right, did some things wrong.
yeah, in Shadow Tower, like it is very awkward. The controls and the fighting. Like I do not blame people who don't like it. It is very awkward. But it was one of those things that I experienced it recently for the first time, like maybe a year and a half ago. Like I'd never even heard of that game. And I played it through emulation. And like I remember playing it and then being like, dude, if I had gotten this game on PS1 back in the day, I would have been obsessed with this game. I would have been playing it nonstop. Like for its time, I would have freaking loved it. Um, like, but this is like when they did this like pre twin stick days, guys. This is before like the analog. So like it's a 3D game when you're using the regular PS1 with no analog. So it's really awkward. But if you can get over that hump and like it's so cool. You know what I loved about it too is like there's no music. And I know that sounds weird. That's not sound like not like a good thing. Like most people are like that's not a good thing. But it's so creepy in the game. Like you feel like you're in that stupid tower after a while because all you can hear is your footsteps and the monsters and things. It's like it's really like atmospheric. I don't know. I just like that game a lot.
It
You
is really
mentioned like
great
it'd be
ambience.
cool
Hmm.
to play it back in the day, but I didn't even hear about these games until I was an adult. And like I got into the Souls series and I went, what other games did they make back in the day? I'd never heard of any of them.
Well,
And
that's exactly what me too. That's the same thing I did. I didn't know they made those games. I kind of went back in the back catalog and I was like, "Ooh, what are these?" And I was like, "Oh, they'll probably suck." And I was like, "Oh, damn, shit,
how much are they? Oh shit, too expensive.
they're not that bad." Well, Shadow Tower is that one's very expensive. Kingsfield.
Kingsfield Power Region, you're looking at like $400.
Oh no, they're like 100 to 150 ish here.
If I want a copy, I'm buying a Japanese PS1. I'll buy the Japanese copies.
I think they have English because I'll buy them too. Did you know they got an extra Kingsfield we didn't get? Sons of bitches. So our Kingsfield 1 is actually Kingsfield 2.
Oh, interesting.
So they got a Kingsfield 1 that we never got. So they have
There's 4
3.
Kingsfield games, right, in Japan.
Yes, there's
Okay,
1,
and
2,
there's
and
only
3 on
3.
PS1 and 2 on PS2. Yeah, and there's only 3 in the West.
That always
And-
confused me, so that makes sense.
It's weird.
No,
But I will.
it was a lot of the. It made sense for back in the day, because back in the day, if you released a game in Japan, it was for the Japan audience. It wasn't for Western buyers, you know. So if they released a game in America at number 2, but no one had heard of it before, they'd be like, "Where's number 1?" Well, number 1's in Japan. It only plays in Japanese, so it's just easy to make it number 1. Same. Final Fantasy did the same. You know.
Oh, we got screwed out of tons of cool games. Makes me mad. All the translations we didn't get. But I guess that's kind of a neat thing they're doing now. Reggie shows off stuff like that all the time. They go like, "Oh, somebody
It's easier
translated
today
the
with
thing."
the technology that we've got and different things like that. To, you know, I mean, AI can.
That's just another
pretty
really
much
great
translate.
plus for emulation, right? Like all these weird, fan translations that we never got. I mean, I keep harping on the whole like Mother 3 thing, right? Like we're never getting Mother 3. I played the fan translation. Fan translation was really good. It was a great translation, and yeah, we're never going to play it any other way. So screw it. Go out there and get it.
Never say never. One day it'll be Mother 4. It's coming.
That would be cool.
Earthbound 2 or something.
Eventually, they will milk every franchise to death. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like the gaming industry would rather milk an old franchise than make a new IP. It's so much safer to, sell nostalgic to people than try and sell them a new product, even if you've got a brilliant idea. That's why we see so many remakes and remasters these days from big companies, because it's like, they got shareholders that they have to have their meetings by, and they want profit. So they can be like, "We got this new idea or this new character, and it's going to be really cool." Or they can be like, "We'll remaster The Last of Us 2 again." And guess what they picked?
It's crazy.
No, but honestly, Naughty Dog would have had that meeting with people, be like, "We've got ideas." And they picked the remaster of a game that freshly came out like halfway through the PS4 cycle. It's wild. I thought it was a joke when I read that, but it wasn't. Check the date; it's not April 1st.
So yeah, I think that first of all, they know that if they oh my god, how do I put this? All right. So if they make new properties, right, and they make them the way they want to make them, they know no one will buy them. No one will buy their stuff. So what they like to do is they like to take established properties and they use them as a skin suit. And they make you think that you're going to buy something in that property, and then they make the game they want to make, and they put a fresh coat of paint on it to make it kind of in the same world as what you used to like, and then they try to sell it to you. And then the way I describe this is, have you ever seen it's like a meme or a gif, I don't know, it's like a baby, and the baby's eating out of a straw, and they make it look like the baby's eating out of this delicious applesauce, but they actually
But
are
it's really
hiding it, and it's actually like this disgusting shit the
the
baby hates.
medicine that they need to take or something.
Correct. And so that's basically what the gaming industry has been for the last 3 years, as we are the babies going, "Oh, we're going to have some applesauce." And they go, and they feed us this shit that they've disguised as the stuff that we like. And then you go, "Ugh, poop, this is gross. Yuck. What is this? This doesn't taste like my delicious thing that I've been eating my whole life. This is gross. What is this crap?" And then
there definitely been some good remakes that we've gotten. Like I always bring up the Crash and the Spyro, and there's been some that
HD remasters
blew me away.
Fine.
100%.
That's fine, but you know what I'm trying to say. This is
no,
more.
I do agree with you the most.
Yeah,
we don't need a game that is on PS4 that has a free upgrade on PS5 to have a remake. We don't need that. That is ridiculous. Absolutely absurd to remaster a PS4 game. That isn't a bad game. There's nothing wrong with that version of The Last of Us.
No. Well, I think The Last of Us 2 didn't make as much money as they even close to what they thought it was going to make, and so I think that's one of the reasons they remastered it and try to resell it again. It's just a way to make more money. It's the same thing like how Nintendo released everything on the Wii U again. They're like, you didn't buy it that time, will you buy it this time?
Yeah, but it makes more sense because it's not backwards compatible system. But you can literally put the PS4 version into a PS5 and it gives you the upgrade and you can play it. Like, it's wild to me.
That is
that
true.
version will be in the shops for like $20 and I'll have the $60 version that's the same game. But if you don't have the 4K TV, and you're not even going to notice the differences,
That's true too.
But I
I'm
wouldn't
still
notice
waiting on my
them.
Xenoblade X port, Nintendo. Come on.
Yeah, I think this. If you want to round off this, if the Switch 2 is coming out, I would really like the Switch to get the Xenoblade Chronicles X, like you said. Come on, we got all the other three. You might as well. Just,
yeah.
Come on, just do
finish
it.
it.
And I feel the exact same way about Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Come on, just put it on there. What are you doing? Just unless you're remaking it for some reason, which why would you? Like, you don't need to. Like, Wind Waker is perfect. Don't ever just leave it alone. Just re-release it the way it is. Like, I don't want it to update it. Like, I like the way it looks. Just leave it alone. It's beautiful the way it is. Twilight Princess, sure, I guess you could. Does it need it? No. But yeah, I'd like those three games in particular to be released on the Switch for sure. Yeah.
You know what? I would really love if they would remake Wind Waker. Please remake Wind Waker and take out the crappy fetch quest at the end of the game for the Triforce pieces. That would make the game perfect.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Actually, it brings up a good point that the remastered Last of Us 2 is most likely to try and get people who are watching the TV show into the game, which makes sense.
Yeah,
the TV show is only new. I didn't even think about that.
Does that mean we're going to get a remaster of Fallout 4 for the TV show then? Which, quite frankly, is probably my least favorite Fallout of the set. But it makes the most sense in a modern way.
I got into that. And I put like 200 hours into it. I built a base and went after like all the collectibles, and I really got into Fallout 4. Never played any of the DLC though.
But how many settlements did you help?
Oh, I pretty much did everything. Yeah, I generally put like 300 hours into that game. I had huge bases built, and yeah, it was absurd. But I played Fallout 4 in 2014 on an Xbox One. It was my first new console, and I was pretty blown away. Like, I went from PS3 to that, and I felt like this is cool. I'd never played a Fallout game too. I'd only played Skyrim before. That was my first Fallout game. Then I tried New Vegas, and to me, New Vegas was too outdated. I couldn't play it.
Oh, everyone says that's the best one.
I couldn't get into it.
I haven't played them, so
it's got the PS3 like yellowy graphics that's famous through that era, and slow loading times.
My buddy played 3 all the time. And like, he was into the modding. I guess you mod that game a lot. And he literally had the game modded, so he had like 15 waifus following him around. It's just like this little harem of waifus go everywhere he went. They all had like bazookas and samurai swords, and they had all this crazy shit. And he's like, "That's just my army of waifus." I'm like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "This is just a mod. I don't know." I'm like, "Hey man, you play it however you want." But I just thought that was hilarious, dude. Like you would just like stand there and you'd be like, "Attack children," and they'd be like, "Oh, da, 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 da." So awesome, dude. And then he same kid, like he made a mod in Skyrim that you could like turn into a Dragon Ball Z character. You could be a Dragon Ball Z character and like literally like do like the hami.
Insane mods.
Yeah, he made it
tank engine.
Yeah, it was awesome. You could nuke towns and stuff like as a Dragon Ball Z character. Krillum, he made Krillum. You could be Krillum, the little bald guy, right? Cool. Yeah.
Do you guys like to play the Figsy quiz?
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So, before we get into the quiz, I need to talk to chat because it's been 2 weeks and you guys still haven't got the question. So me and Pavel have been chatting, and we're going to keep the question the same, but we've added a hint. So it's a little bit easier. So chat, you got the same question again, but we do have an extra hint. Good luck. So you guys have to name the video game from the photos. Now, while you guys are thinking about this, let's get into the quiz. So this quiz is like the last show. I'm going to show you guys a photo. It's a GIF. And every like 5 seconds, the GIF will reveal more of the image. I think after like a minute, it'll eventually reveal the cover. But the idea is you guys are going to try and guess the game. First person to correctly guess it gets the point. If you were incorrect, you will be locked out until the clip finishes. So the other person will have the full minute to answer. So let's get into the first one. Good luck, guys. If you get it from that, I'm calling you cheaters.
Jaws. I have no idea.
Skate.
Skate is correct. Oh my god.
Oh, is that the little picture in the corner getting bigger?
It was Skate 3, but I'm paying that. Well done.
No, hey, no, that's fine. I didn't even realize that was the photo. I didn't. Yeah. I was waiting for something to appear.
He's already got the answer. You're like, what?
I thought he was.
That's the wheel. Eventually, the cover will pop up. All right, second one.
Okay. Oh god, this looks like all the Atari games I've been playing this week. Okay, come on. This is just Tetris at this point. Come on. Okay. All right. Is that a penis? Oh wait, no. Sorry. Metroid.
Not Metroid. Joe is locked out.
Shit. So much easier when you can just wait for it to fill in.
Yeah, it just looks like something I threw up like last week after I ate. I don't know.
We'll slowly reveal more and more of it.
A bit of Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim is correct. Morgan takes another point.
Fuck.
You really start to see it now. All right, next question. Starting out tough.
Yep, still no idea.
Ghosts
Ghosts and Goblins.
Super Ghosts and Goblins is correct, Joe.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, next one.
Majora's Mask.
Oh shit! That was damn
Zelda Majora's Mask is correct. Well done.
The purple. That was really good.
And you can see the 3DS case. All right,
that was the color. The color is iconic.
It is. I immediately was like, "Oh, I know that." You got it quick.
All right, next one.
That's good. Looks like my underwear. I don't even care if I get it right at this point. Oh shit. That's the EA logo, I think. No, Konami. It's Konami. PlayStation in the bottom right. I don't fucking know what this game is. I literally don't know.
I think it's the Japanese version too.
No.
Oh, Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll pay that. It was
There
Silent
it
Hill
1. Fair enough.
Sure. Yeah, I definitely don't know that cover.
As long as it's not Joe's underwear.
All right, next one.
No, you got me. No idea.
Yeah, I feel like these are so much harder. The pixelated ones, like I don't know, the ones where they just enlarges the piece of the images are so much easier.
I'm not sure.
Unless it's Majora's Mask, and then you're like, bam! It's funny how like colored patterns you've seen like on the game, like that shit. You know, you could tell we've looked at these covers too much if you could get them. Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Yeah,
I heard Tony Hawk from Joe first.
Let's go.
So
good stuff.
Can you tell me the system?
N64.
Not the N64.
The N-Gage.
It was the N-Gage, correct.
Whatever. Since I gotta name the system now too. God.
That wasn't for the point. I was just curious.
All
right,
right,
next
all
one.
That also looks like my underwear.
Looks kind of like a jar of mayonnaise.
Shit. Some sort of
Loco Roco.
Loco Broco on PS4 is correct.
Nice job.
Killing it.
This guy's a ringer.
All right, next one.
Mm-hmm.
Drakengard 3?
Oh my god, he's on fire.
I was gonna say
Correct.
Castlevania, Lords of Shadow 2 for some reason. It's good for you.
All right, final one. That was like 2 seconds.
That was amazing, dude.
Iconic cover though. It's one of my
It was a big splotch of blue. The fucking iconic cover.
All right,
could have very easily been the Smurfs the game.
Oh shit! It's a PS4 game. I'm thinking.
Hmm.
7 Days to Die.
Joe is locked out. It's incorrect.
Nah, whatever, dudes. I gotta be quick. Oh, it's fucking Evolve. I don't give a shit.
Not Evolve.
No?
Is that Metal Gear Solid 5?
It's Metal Gear Solid 5.
Well done.
Well, Morgan smashed this week. Final scores ended on Joe, 2 points, but today's winner on 7 points is Morgan. Well done. I'm just checking if anyone's got the chat question. I don't believe anyone has. So we will leave that question until someone gets it. I'll just show you guys once again.
That's all I can think of is that song. Can I get
you guys got any pickups to show off this week?
I got stuff. Want to show some stuff? I got stuff.
Yeah,
I got
show
stuff.
some stuff.
All right, so this first game, fresh off the boat, all the way from ye old Australia. Figsy's not even here. Where'd you go? God damn it. This came from you. And he's not even here. This is the game I've been waiting for Figsy for like freaking God knows how long. So anyway, this is Tekken 7, as you can see. This is part of my VR collection, one of the few things that I still need for my PlayStation VR collection. And basically, it's just an alternate cover. In the US, we got a different cover for Tekken 7. That's kind of boring. I just love this one right here. So this cover. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, so this finally came from you and from Clean. So thank you both very much for helping me get this. This cover got released only in Australia and in Japan. And then it's on the Steelbook, I think, too. There's a Steelbook.
I was going to say, you need the Steelbook still now.
Yeah, but see, I don't my VR collection. It just I only want things that like are banded for the VR. So the Steelbook doesn't really. It's just a Steelbook, so it's cool. I would like to have it just because it's a fucking cool Steelbook, but I don't need it for the VR set. For the VR set, I just wanted to have a copy of this cover. I didn't want the Japanese one. I wanted one with English, and so I got the Australian one. So this is like one of the very few Australian games that I own because of stuff like this. Why is there a big M on it? That's gonna drive me crazy. None of my other games have a big M on it.
So what's the VR mode for Tekken 7? I'm not familiar. I don't play a lot of fighting games, unfortunately.
So it's literally like you just view the fight in a VR 3D setting. Like you're like, instead of just like watching it like this, you're like above it, I think, and you're like watching it happen, like you're in the room.
That's
It's
kinda
nothing special. It's cool, but it's not like you're not like first person freaking throwing, fighting as Jin or anything like that. You just watch the game from like in the game. It's
Oh,
cool.
okay. That would have been sick if you could watch it from Jin's point of view. If you're playing as him, just getting the shit beat out of you, like
Yeah,
would've been
first
great.
person.
Yeah, that would have been 100%.
Yeah, because every perv in the ground would just lie on the ground and look up at Nina's crotch, be like, "Whoa, no, dude."
Oh no, I lost again.
Yeah, and then so that game I bought and had it shipped to Figsy's house in Australia, and he mailed it to Clean, a guest who's been on the show, and Clean mailed it to me. So it's been all around the world, that game. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. But Clean had some other games, and he was just like, "Hey, you want to buy this off me too?" And because I've been collecting like a lot of fighting games, and he had a copy of SNK Heroines
Oh yeah,
Tag Team Frenzy, the
Very
English
nice.
Asian version. So this is like the middle expensive version of this game. So like there's the Japanese version is the cheapest, but I don't think it has English, and it's like 30 to 40 bucks. This version is the Asian English version, and it goes for like, I'm gonna say like 75 to like 150 depending on the condition of it, somewhere around there. And then the American version, the ESRB version, is like, I guess it's the rarest one. I don't know, or it's the most sought
It's
after.
not.
But
Our version is $500. It's the most expensive.
oh, okay. So I haven't seen the PAL version at all. I haven't even seen the PAL version.
It is
either,
number
so that
one
makes
in
sense.
terms of expensive PS4 games.
That's wild. So this is the third most expensive then. So the ESRB version is like, it goes to like 200-ish, 250 if it's new, sealed. Like, it's very expensive. And now you're telling me the PAL one's like 500? Oh my god. So yeah, that's
Last
wild.
time I looked, you could still buy the collector's edition brand new from the website. Don't know if it's still in stock.
Oh, that's cool.
You can still get the game brand new from the website, or
There
buy it
you
on
go.
eBay for like twice the price.
Yeah. Well, either way, Clean did not charge me $500 or anything like it. It was very reasonable. So thank you very much, sir. I'm happy to have this game in my collection.
Very nice.
And in case you don't know what this game is, it's like SNK Heroes, but like all reimagined as waifus. So there you go. Good stuff. So then I got some schmoops from Red Art Games. I got Shinorubi. These are the deluxe editions.
I like those stickers.
Yeah, dude. I love them, but like they're on the outside, so like it makes me.
You can't open them now.
Yeah, I'll probably just buy the game digitally. So I'm not a loser, and I'll play it like that. But yeah, this is it's a shmup. What's interesting about this shmup though is this is was designed with a 16:9 aspect ratio in mind. So like most shmups are not designed that way. They're designed for the old vertical screens and stuff like that. So this was kind of neat, but it doesn't have like a tate mode, like that because of that. So some people don't like that, but it's pretty cool. It's a different. I'm like a big supporter of any new shmup that comes out, so I would definitely check it out. And then if you get the deluxe edition, it comes with like these little standy things. Dude, do I have any around here? Crap, I don't know what I did with them. It comes with like a little like I don't even know. Standy is the only thing I can think of to call it. Shoot, where is it? I got two of them and I don't know where they are. Oh, here we go. No, that's what it looks like. And then that comes on like a stand. So you pop that open and then you stick her in it.
Oh, that's pretty nice. Was that like free of charge or?
Yeah. So if you order the deluxe edition, you get them for free. And since I ordered, the Switch and the PS4, I got 2 of them.
That is one
So-
good thing that like Red Art and Strictly and all those companies tend to do is give you all these little extra little tidbits with your games, even if it's just something simple like a postcard or something.
Mhm.
It's nice.
Yeah, I foresee, like I always tell my girlfriend that so the little extras, those will be worth more than the games down the future. Like that sort of stuff is like, it's always like, the map costs a fortune. If it comes with a button, it's worth cost a fortune. That's how collecting is. Like all those little extra things end up being the things that cost the most.
Well, it's not so much they individually cost, but it'll be like the complete edition is $200. But if you want it with the map, it's $250, and then the pins as well, $300.
Exactly.
Like when I sold the copy of the Coma, I had all the pre-order bonuses. I got like $350 for it. Crazy.
Yeah,
but you can buy copies for $200 without all that extra stuff, and you still get the game.
But that's what I'm like. Don't throw away that stuff. Don't sleep on that stuff. Like those little postcards they come with. If a postcard comes with it and it's game specific, you better keep that. Like if it's just says, hey, strictly limited, then maybe not. But if it's like a picture of the game that you just bought, you should keep that because that's probably going to be worth something down the line. Not, maybe not thousands of dollars, but we were $50 or something, like you said, like $100.
Or it could be the instance of if you're trying to sell it and there's 2 copies online, there might be many buyers. And the buyer's going to buy the complete one, not your one. And you'll just be stuck with this game you can't sell.
Correct.
Then there's also this stuff that like even pre-order bonuses. I know that like it's kind of volatile, right? Because if it's a really popular game, it's probably not going to be worth shit. But something like I had recently Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. They did a papercraft set that you could get as a pre-order bonus. I sold that stupid papercraft set for like $100 for literally nothing. I got it for nothing.
That's dope, dude.
Steelbooks that come with games for free can sometimes be worth more than the game itself. It's crazy.
Yep.
And it's like you can't even buy these steelbooks because they were given to GameStop for free, and they have like 20 of them.
Look at the puppy. Screw the. Let's not show off games. Look at the puppy. Hello, baby. He's the star of the show right there. What a cutie. Oh, you smiling?
Hello.
Oh,
You picked up a phone this week and a new chew toy, and
what a happy dog. All right.
He wasn't feeling the best. That's why I went and got her.
Oh, she's cute as hell, man. It's distracting. So anyway, I think was it Mort from Mort's Garage who suggested this game? Somebody on the show recently suggested this game. So I picked it up. Immortals of Avenim and Avenium, Aberlevine, Immortals of Aberlevine. I swear I thought it was like a 5v5 like Overwatch type game. I had no idea, but he said no, this is like a single person FPS like type game, but it's like magic, like Heretic or Hexen or something like that. And I love Heretic and Hexen back in the day. Like I was huge on those games. So I'm totally gonna play this. I think I might play this right next after I finish Final Fantasy because I played Final Fantasy 16 right into Rebirth, and I just need an RPG break. I want to blow shit up for a little while. You know what I mean? I just want to see some heads roll. So yeah, I grabbed
Mario
this.
saying
A lot of fun.
bracelet from The Last of Us 2 collector's edition is incredibly expensive, and I'm sure that's because half the people that bought it put the bracelet on and worn it. And then if they sold it, it's missing that bracelet. And it's like, you ever get a T-shirt in a collector's edition?
That's right.
There'll be so many of them on eBay with the T-shirt missing because people wear that stuff. And a lot of people who buy these things aren't collectors.
Never opening this shirt, bro. Never. Keeping it
the Metal Gear Solid limited edition? I bought 2 of them, kept one of the T-shirts, sold it all individually, ended up making more money from how much it cost me, and I got a T-shirt to keep.
That's dope.
It's got a cool steelbook that goes for like $200, and it's like a $300 collector's edition. And there's a art book inside, plus the game's $50 as well. So it's quite a good deal, the collector's edition or the limited edition.
That's sick, dude. Yeah, you can be pretty smart about that. Like, I don't want to give anyone any bad ideas, but like, let's say you got this red Switch. You know what I mean? Like the red Mario Switch or whatever. Oh my god, I'm gonna break things. You know what I'm talking about, the red Switch.
Yeah. And you like sold the Joy-Cons
Yeah.
separately.
So if you just sell this thing the way it is, like you'll make like $250, $300, whatever. But if you sold just this piece and then just the Joy-Cons and then just the dock, if you sell them all separately, you'll get $400 if you sell it that way. Because you could sell just the Joy-Cons for like $100 to $120. You could sell just this piece for like $150, $200, or whatever. Like if you want to do it. If you're patient.
But then the reason behind that is because the people that buying it don't want to own the Switch. They literally just want the Joy-Cons. And Joy-Cons regularly go for that much. So they're used to paying that price.
Yeah, or like somebody will have like found a Switch at a yard sale that has everything but the Joy-Cons. And so all they need is the Joy-Cons. And so to them, they're like, all right, $100. All right, I'll do it. Or they will have everything but the dock. That shit happens all the time. People will sell Switches with no docks and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know why people do, but yeah, you can make a lot of money. Like this, that red Switch comes with a special blue Joy-Con holder. You can make the little controllers out of the Joy-Cons. You know what I'm talking about? Like the little plastic pieces that the Joy-Con slide in, and you can. So like that thing's like $40 by itself. Just that little blue thing's like $40 to get one. It's like, what the fuck?
That's the piece that's usually just black, right?
Yeah, it's usually just black, but that specific one it's blue. Because it's the Mario one. So that one is worth more. If it's like
it's not $10, it's $40.
Yeah, exactly. If it was the black one, you could find them a million of them for nothing. All right, so I just got a couple of movies I just want to go over quick. So I got American Werewolf in Londonderry on 4K. It's like one of the best movies ever made. If you've never seen this movie, it's absolutely incredible.
Horror movies are usually pretty good.
Yeah, so this is like my favorite type of horror movie because it's a horror movie, but it's kind of funny at the same time. Like it's creepy and it's dark and it's depressing and it's still very horror-y, but it's also kind of funny. And like he has like his best friend is like a ghost who follows him around because he murdered him. And like that's the thing, like if you murder someone, like their ghosts follow you around and give you shit. They're like, I can't believe you murdered me, you prick. Like, which I always thought that was a funny thing. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think
everything we've been through, you killed me.
Yeah, I just think that, and it'd be funny to have ghosts follow you around all the time. We're like mad at you. We're like, you son of a bitch! How dare you? I don't know. I just like that concept. I thought that was really funny. And so then I've been I'm kind of getting back into anime a little bit. I'm like I don't know much about it, and I'm but like I definitely remember like a lot of the ones I used to watch back in the day. So I'm trying to pick up some of those. And apparently I was a sick fuck because all the ones I like are fucking weird. So I got this one, Wicked City. I don't know if you've ever seen this one.
It looks really nice.
Ever heard of it? Dude, it's classic.
Can't say I've ever heard of it.
It's just a slipcover or whatever. This is pretty old, but like, it's iconic, man. It's like super dark, super gory. It's like about like the world where like humans and demons live together and they have like a truce. But like the truce gets broken, and the demons, they do bad things because they're demons. And there's a woman who has like a vagina monster with the teeth. You know what I'm talking about? Vagina dentata, the teeth of vagina monster. So that was like the first time I ever saw that.
Called Teeth, and it was very traumatic.
Okay, so that movie this was like in the 80s they had like that.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
It's an awesome movie. It's wicked fucked up. I would highly recommend it if you've never seen it. And I've never seen this one, but apparently this is from the same director. And I was looking up ones that I was going to pick up, and it looked awesome. It's called Goku Midnight Eye. And I don't know much about it, but it's basically the same director, so I'm assuming it's wicked fucked up. But it's supposed to be like a classic detective type story or whatever. But it just looks really messed up. So I don't know. Apparently I like really gory, creepy, violent animes. Yeah. So like it's funny because like I looked up like a lot of the animes I like, and like I kept getting lists like top 10 most fucked up animes, top 10 most violent animes, things you shouldn't show people. Things that gave us nightmares. I'm like, oh, okay. Because all the things I like. Anyway, that's all my pickups.
I haven't got any pickups, but I got more PS1 games to show you guys.
Let's do it.
So I believe we're up to the letter V now. Coming up to an absolute classic series. I played the hell out of this one. Racing game that I do love, and that is V Rally. How good was V Rally back in the day? Like the Subaru versus the Mitsubishi. Oh, so good. So iconic too. V Rally and Colin McRae were like the racing games back in the day. Like bigger than Need for Speed.
PS1 was a racing beast.
Yeah. Oh, so many good races. Oh my god. Now we have a JRPG. That's a banger. Vagrant Story.
Oh, that is a banger.
Squaresoft on it. I still haven't played it. I only picked this up last year from a good friend Jared, who sold a lot of his PS1 JRPG collection. So really happy to have it in the collection. It's quite a pricey game. It's in beautiful condition. The artwork looks absolutely lovely.
I thought that game was in the news recently. Does that get released in a compilation or some shit like that?
Possibly. That'd be cool.
I don't know. I could be crazy.
We have another racing game, one I didn't play. And this one is Vanishing Point. Couldn't say too much about this one. Have you heard of this one before, Joe?
No.
Like BMWs and stuff in the game. It's kind
No,
of
it's
cool.
a claim. It's probably pretty decent.
Like we were saying before, so many races on the PS1.
There's a million.
This is cool. Here we have Viewpoint.
That game's awesome.
Beautiful artwork on the front.
So I'm trying to get that. There's a long box version of that in the US. It's like it's a shmup. It's like Zaxxon. If you guys are like really old and know what the hell Zaxxon is, it's kind of like that. It's like that. God, I don't know what's the perspective. I don't know what to call it. It's like gosh, what is that? What they call
seriously test your trigger finger.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think that's when you can't, like, you have to shoot every time with the button, I believe. Which is another reason
one of my favorite
I like
series
emulators. Emulators are good for shmups. You don't have to hit the fucking buttons. You can just hold the button down, set turbos and shit. Yeah, dude. Save yourself your thumb.
So I never played the Twisted Metal games growing up. However, I did play these. And that was the Vigilant 8 and Vigilant 8 Second Offense. This is the one I owned as a kid. Not this copy, but I owned this game. It wasn't a black label, so I had to rebuy the black label version. They're quite expensive today, these games. And they are fantastic. Like, absolutely brilliant games. I would say they kind of hold up. Me and Andy played them. 2-player wasn't that fun, but single player held up definitely. Yeah, highly recommend.
Isometric. Thank you, Cyrus.
I would love to see a new Vigilant 8. It's so good.
I would love to see a new one of those as well, or a new Twisted Metal. No, like I said, I bought Carmageddon Max Damage the other day just because I wanted to play a fucking car combat game. Like I love that type of stuff. So.
So here we have Wild 9.
So that was made by the same team that made Earthworm Jim.
It's like a platformer.
It's a 2D action platformer where you have like a whip, and it's like sort of, it's very, like I said, it's like it's sort of like the gameplay is kind of like Earthworm Jim, but not the story or the style or anything. It's not.
It was part of a lot of like 200 PS1 games I bought, and it was complete, so it ended up in the collection.
It's not a bad game. I own it. It's fun.
Here we got another banger, like real banger. This came from the same lot of JRPGs I bought last year, and that is Wild Arms.
Oh hell yeah, that's a great game.
Amazing title. I'd love to see a new version or a remaster or something. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's 6 of those games at least.
Fantastic artwork.
The PSP. Yeah, it's good stuff. I have not played all of them.
I don't believe I own any of them on PS2. It's the only one I've got. So it's
Yeah, 1 and
gonna be
2 are on
expensive,
PS1, and then the rest are on PS2. And there's a PSP game that's pretty expensive too.
I guess this next one's kind of similar to the Destruction Derby genre. And this is WDL, World Destruction League Thunder Tanks. It's like a Destruction Derby game with tanks.
3DO, baby. That looks all right. I like games like that. I like tank games.
They're fun.
World of Tanks is fun. I've been playing Battlezone on the Atari. Shit's intense, bros.
And they made a sequel. This is World Defense League War Jets. Uses reminds me of like the flyer jets from Star Wars that Anakin used to race in.
That's cool.
Pretty cool though. And final one for today, we have World's Scariest Police Chase. It's your classic cat and mouse police trying to catch the robber type game. A lot of fun though. Is it done by Fox? What? Fox did video games?
Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? Yeah.
Yeah, and next week you guys get the last of my PS1 collection, so that'll be exciting.
Nice, dude.
You got anything for us, Morgan?
Sounds like he's preparing a stack.
Yep. Apologies. I was hurriedly trying to grab things. I didn't pick up much of anything over the last couple of weeks. New games have been pretty dry for the most part. So I think really the only thing I can show is this limited edition of Legend of Legacy, which is a port of a 3DS game that came out something like 2016. But it's the same art director from the Romancing Saga series. It's a typical turn-based action, a typical turn-based RPG. Apparently very brutal. I have not yet had the chance to play the full game. I played the demo. The wife really enjoyed this one. So the port was a no-brainer. NIS is publishing, and I typically buy something like 90% of their limited editions nowadays. So yeah, that was a no-brainer for me.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to go wrong with NIS limited editions. Even the standard games, majority of them go up in price.
Yeah, I think the only one recently that I passed on was Cry Machina, but that's because I was done real dirty on. Did either of you play Crystar by chance?
I didn't, but I know it's a terrible game. Like it's the
terrible game.
PS5 JRPG that no one wants.
It's another one of those 1 and 2 button action RPGs that is super generic. The idea behind it's really good because it's just depressing, but it's just not fun to play. And at that time, I think it was like a $90 complete in box game, so I just sold it. And then they come out with Cry Machina, and it's basically the same thing except in a future tense Android waifu kind of thing, and it's just the same game. Furyu does not do action RPGs well, so I just avoid those altogether. They do great turn-based RPGs like Hero Land, but stay away from the action RPGs. They're just not very good. They're real generic.
Not many people do good action RPGs, let's be honest. If I find a good one that's not from software, I'm like, oh my god. Like Code Vein, for example. That was brilliant. Just came out of nowhere. Lies of P, that was brilliant as well. Just came out of nowhere.
I had problems with Lies of P actually. I bought it very excited because I absolutely love Bloodborne. On my arm is, hopefully it translates well, but Orphan of Kos, literally on my arm, because that boss blew my fucking mind when I played the Bloodborne DLC. That I'm one of those typical I'll go through the FromSoft games. I'll never summon. I just want to do it on my own, prove my worth, right? And that's one that literally stopped me from finishing the DLC. That's one of, I think, 2 bosses that I had to summon for, and it shocked the shit out of me. And I don't know.
I find this story crazy because I've had this conversation with people 5 or 6 times. So I actually beat that boss first try. No idea how. But prior to that boss, there's like there's a hole you can go down, and in the hole there's these two guys, and I got stuck on that like 50 dies. Like that was the hardest part of the game for me, right before the Orphan Cost. And I spoke to people who got stuck on the same. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like you go down this well, and there's these two guys down there, and like one-on-one they're all right, but fighting them both in the same room. But I beat the Orphan Cost first try. I don't know.
That is absolutely
also,
insane
like,
to
really
hear.
high
You're a
level.
god amongst men.
I don't know. Just it happened. I've never attempted a second attempt at him though. So
Yeah, that's the thing. What I feel sometimes when I play those games, I haven't played them as much as you guys, but like sometimes when I win, I'm like, did I really win, or am I just like lucky this time? Like,
yeah, did I tease the shit out of that? Or...
Like
I've
the only
watched
reason I
playthroughs,
won,
and I'm like, I've never seen that move he's done before. Never
exactly.
Seen that one.
For some reason, that time when I fought him, he decided to pick his nose instead of attack, and I got to hit him 3 times real quick in the nuts, and I won. But every other time, he kicks my ass. So I don't know why that happened that time, but I'll take it. Let's go. Yeah, that's what I need. I hope for in the games. I need like the boss to get stuck on a cliff, like a ledge, and glitch out or something.
Even in that DLC, like the first boss of that DLC, the big fire dog thing, I got stuck on that like 30 attempts.
Really? That is so interesting. I know a lot of people say they get stuck on Lady Maria, and that's the one that took me like I think 2 attempts. It was crazy easy for some
Maria
reason.
wasn't too bad, but Lady Maria is the type of boss that if you parry, it's a really easy boss fight.
See, I think that was my problem too. Like I went the whole game never using the gun because I was too stubborn to use it.
Fair. Like if you do the final boss fight of the game with the gun, it's not a boss fight, it's a dance. It's such a beautiful fight. That's one of my best moments of playing Bloodborne was like dancing with the final boss. I didn't get hit and just done it perfectly, and it felt like this is what you meant to do. It just felt amazing.
Playing the game it was intended to be played.
Such a good game. Why don't they remaster that? You go on Twitter, that trends like every week. People are looking for a 4K version of that game.
That'd be sick. Either a 4K, a sequel would be even better, but that game
it'd be hard to do a sequel. I could see them not doing a sequel because of the lore and just making like a new game.
Yeah, that'd be
or
fun.
A prequel or something.
Yeah, I mean, really anything. Like I was a big fan of Sekiro too, and I mean something like that would even be pretty great. Honestly, like I don't know. I'm sort of sour about Elden Ring in general because it didn't feel as impactful to me as like Dark Souls 1 did, or Dark Souls 3, or Bloodborne, or Sekiro for that matter. Like it falls in the like low tier for me because I don't feel like the bosses were interesting enough. Like I feel like the whole gimmick of the game was go explore the world, go ride your horse places, and then the bosses were kind of like an afterthought, really.
I'll counter and with that argument because I think it's one of my favorite games of all time. I think the bosses were good, but the problem is they reused a lot of them. And as soon as you're fighting a boss you've already fought, it's not fun anymore. Or if you're fighting a boss that has like there's 2 of them and it's 2 bosses from the start of the game, or it's like a double strength version of this boss. Like that's what I didn't enjoy. But then again, there were like 180 bosses throughout the game. So I do kind of understand why they reused some of them.
It was crazy unnecessary to use that many. Like I would have been so much happier if they would have narrowed this whole world down like 30%, narrow the boss count down 30%, and make them all unique. I can only fight these stupid like gargoyle statues that like shimmy across the field so many times. I can only fight Godskin Duo separately so many times before I'm like, okay, I've seen this before. I'm done.
Some of the Chalice dungeons are the same and things like that. But overall, I'm actually replaying it right now, and I'm having just as a good experience than the first time I played it, in anticipation for the DLC that's coming out.
Which is super bummery. Like what the fact that they're trying to charge, I think it's like $250 or something for a statue and a voucher code.
Yeah, but that's collector's editions these days. Like I'm not bothering at all. I'll be buying the digital version of the DLC code, and then like 3 years later, when the Game of the Year edition's cheap, I'll buy that if it's a thing.
Oh, it will be.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be.
And then
You
it'll
can
still
buy
have,
the
it'll
Fire
still have a
Flame
code. It'll still have a
edition of
code.
Dark Souls 3. It's all on the disc. You know, that's the version to own today.
Yeah, and Bloodborne, the PAL region, the Game of the Year edition, has everything on the disc too.
Yeah, same as the Chinese version. It's definitely the one to own. That Bloodborne DLC, I think it's the best DLC of all time. Like in terms of value for money, that is DLC right there. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Did Bloodborne come out on PS4 or was that a PS3 game?
PS4, 2014
Okay.
or 15.
Because I remember when I
It was an
played
early
it.
PS4 game.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled with the graphics. I kind of looked like a fancy PS3 game to me. I could be crazy, but it didn't feel that
It was an
gorgeous.
early PS4 game. It made sense, and it was in the whole Victorian era, so it's very dark. And I think that's got to do with the charm of the game, though. Once you start to love the game, you enjoy it for that aspect. Same as Demon Souls. I love the PS3 version of Demon Souls because of what it is. Like I like it on PS5, but my favorite of the two is the PS3 version because it's creepy and it's eerie, and like there's a dungeon in the valley of the big swamp. You can't see anything. It's pitch black. It's scary as fuck. On PS5, it's not that scary. You can see everything. It's lights and you know where to go. When I first played that on PS3, I was like, oh fuck. Like moving really slowly, looking behind me. Like, I don't want to die. It's been like an hour since my last checkpoint. I've got no health left. Like, I'm fucked, please. Yeah, no, it's such a good game.
So I think that's one of the what I was even saying back about talking about Shadow Towers. So they're so good at the atmosphere. Like, I don't know, when you play those games, like those worlds feel depressing, man, and bleak and creepy and like I don't know, they just really do. Like they're so good at that, like gothic-y dark vibe. Like I also I don't know, I think we talked about this before in the public. Every character like you talk to, like they have a story that's like this tragedy, that's like this horrible thing. It's like so fascinating and so deep and like it matters, and like the quests, like you get to see the whole story and you get to find out the past and you find out more about like the fucked up shit that happened to that character.
And
that
most of
made
the
them
stories
that
are
way.
sad. Like they have bad endings.
Yes,
You're like,
they're all
my
depressing
daughter's
and
lost.
dark.
Can you find her? And you find these bones, and it's like the daughter.
Yes, that's what I mean. It's like that. Those games are just like, I don't know. They're really good at that immersion, that immersive feeling of like you're in this dark world, and they're so good at it. Like they're so creepy, dude. I love it. You got more pickups, show Morgan? So if you want to
That's the only thing I have, honestly. Everything else has been several weeks ago, and it's probably not. It's stuff that I'm just not familiar enough with, probably to even show. To be honest with you,
That's all good.
I don't have pickups these days. I just show off my collection.
Yeah, I mean, we always say it could be stuff picked up recently or just stuff you want to flex in your collection or whatever. Stuff you have, just cool things, weird stuff. We like all that crap, strange things.
I grabbed a couple of those too. If you want to see.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, let's go. I guess the flex portion, right? I grabbed a couple of things.
Let's go.
The Final Fantasy Pixel remaster.
Never heard of it.
The PS4 version.
With the sleeve and everything. Oh man,
I didn't even know it had a sleeve. That's insane.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, most of the ones on eBay don't have the sleeve. The ones like if you just bought wrong way, just this, it's like $1,000. It's really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild.
Slipcover is like another couple
I
$100.
love slipcover collecting, and I didn't even know it had a sleeve.
Yeah, people don't
I'm
even want like the
reprint.
giant collector's edition.
It'll 100% happen to reprint, I'm sure of it.
No, I super doubt that. Like they're all in on the Switch reprint, and that's it. Like PS4, it's done. They're not doing it.
I don't know. Square Enix, they still sell PS1 games. I reckon they'll reprint it.
I
What
hope
was
for
anyone
everyone's
else?
sake they do.
I at this point, I mean, I'm leaning towards you that there won't, because I don't understand. Like, how could you be in the business of video game selling and see that this game is selling for $1,000 and not reprint some? Like, I don't get it. Like, it baffles my mind. Even if like I work there and they're like, let's just put them on eBay ourselves, motherfucker. Like, screw that. Like, let's just print up 500 and do that. Like, it just blows my mind that I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's the same thing with I've said this before, with the Spider-Man plates they came out with for PS5. It's like everybody wanted those things. Like, why didn't you just make them? Why didn't you make? I don't get it. Why didn't you make more? Everybody wants them. They're selling for double.
Because
Makes no
everyone's
sense.
Christmas bonus that year was copies of the game, and all the ones on eBay are employees, Joe.
Oh, that could be it.
I mean, maybe.
That could be
Who
it.
knows?
That could be it, dude. Like, literally,
Look at
I don't
Poop
know.
Slinger. They all come from North Carolina. Whoops.
Yeah.
We all know what happened there.
Mm. Who
Or what
knows?
was the Breach and Clear on the Vita? Like 400 fucking copies on eBay sold from North Carolina, same state that limited run games are in. Coincidence? Sure.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's. I think you've
That was
cracked
on
the
eBay
case.
for like 4 years. That same seller had copies. It was wild.
Well, I own the Switch copy of that game, and I'm totally cool with that. I'm cool with that. I'd love to have the Pixel Remaster Collection on the PS4, but that train has left the station for me. I'm not. No way I'm going to be playing those games. It ain't worth the money to me at this point. Like, I could play all those games. I own all those games on other places. Like, I have like the PSP collections, and I have the PS1 collections, and I mean, I have them if I want to play them. It's not like I need them.
You want to play them? They're super cheap.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm a nerd. I don't want the remastered collection. I'd play the SNES ones. I'd rather play the original games. I don't need them to be anything more than that.
Well, to add to that, Joe, if I wanted to play it, I'd actually prefer to play on the Switch. Like the Switch games, they're that 8-bit game.
Yeah, they
play
don't need
really
to
well
be.
on the Switch. I don't want to play
Exactly.
it on my PS4.
Does not need to be played on PS4.
But there's your exact argument why they won't do a PS4 reprint. They're selling Switch copies like hotcakes. They don't need to.
It's fair.
Yeah, sure.
It's true.
Maybe we'll get a PS5 version one day. Who knows?
See, that I could believe that. I could believe that. Why not? That's what a lot of companies
I'll just
have been
buy it
doing.
again.
That's killed me. I've hated that about collecting the last couple of years. Like, limited run has taken so many games that I bought on the PS4, and they've re-released them again on the PS5, and I'm like, oh, come on. What are we doing?
That
I'm
comes
not
down
buying
to yourself, though. You don't have to buy games again. But we do.
No, and I'm not. I literally like just decided like I'm not collecting for the PS5 the way I did for the PS4. I'm just not going to.
There's people out there going
Yep.
for full PS5 sets. They haven't got a
Mhm.
choice. They have to buy them or they miss out.
God bless them.
Yeah, they just did Thumper, I think, for PS5, and like I love that game. It's a really great game. If you've not played it, I'd highly recommend it as someone who likes rhythm games. But
Mhm.
the differences between the PS4 and PS5 version are so negligible. Like, I'm not going to go out and spend another $65 on another collector's
Yeah.
edition of it. I'm not going to do it.
I bought it twice. I have it on both.
It's also a VR game, though, and you're a VR collector, so that kind of makes sense.
I was going to go for a full VR2 set, but I'm decided I'm not doing that either. The heart's not in it. Like, once collecting, I feel like becomes once it starts to feel like an obligation more than like fun,
Yeah.
then you need to stop. It's if it's not fun, you shouldn't be doing it. Like, if you feel compulsion to buy things or that FOMO feeling, like, you should probably take a step back from collecting and just not do that.
Take
And
a
also,
break.
like,
Games aren't going anywhere. You
correct.
stop. Like I haven't collected for a year. I'm still a collector. I still got a massive collection. I'm still playing games every day. Games
Sure.
are still coming out. I'm not missing out on anything because they're all still there for me to buy.
Yeah. And for me, it's like I need a roof. on my house. I need to fix my septic tank. That's like shit's like I can't just always buy games. I have things I gotta buy. Like it's, So
Well, and then you bring up FOMO, Joe. Like, I haven't been buying things, and you look at FOMO differently now. Like, I just observe. So I see games that I want, and I see the prices go up and down, and I see games that I want get reprinted, which is like, oh, that's cool. I wanted this. I probably would have spent $100 on it, but now it's $40, and it'll stay that price because there's like 10,000. Castle Crashers, perfect example. I always wanted that couple $100 game, and now it's reprinted and it's cheap, and you can buy it.
I just ordered it. Reggie hooked me up,
There you
told
go.
me where I could get it.
If I was still collecting, I may have spent a couple $100 on the FOMO version and bought that, which would be worth nothing now. Worth the same price as the normal copy.
So that's why FOMO is weird. Like half the time you get rewarded for patience, and half the time you get punished.
I feel like
it's like,
today,
you never know.
FOMO, they take advantage of it. Like if you had 15 years ago, you were buying stuff, it wasn't getting reprinted. That was never happening. But today, like expensive PS4 games, for example, most of them have been reprinted. Like most of them, not some of them, most of them. And the ones that haven't is like Godzilla because of licenses issues, and they've all tried to reprint that and different things like that. So it's like collecting the expensive stuff these days is
risky.
Yeah, it's risky because it might be reprinted, and you got to be aware of that.
Yeah, I'm not buying any like heavy hitters on the PS4 right now unless like I know they're not getting reprinted. Like you just know they're not. And like they're going up in price. Like weird plays or exclusives and stuff like that. Like I'd buy that because I just don't think Earth Atlantis is getting a reprint, you know what I'm saying? But like
especially the games that they make themselves, because that limited run aren't going to get a copy of them, etc.
Correct. So exactly. And like I don't see VGP reprinting anything from Limited Run or Strictly Limited or any of those companies,
No, I could say from Limited Run because it's not a Limited Run game. It's it's for this publisher, and then suddenly they want more copies out there. And
well, if it's something they just distributed, yeah, but it's not like I've never seen them reprint an actual like numbered Limited Run release or anything like that. So.
Yeah, I agree.
I would actually counter on the Play Asia thing. Recently, actually, what is it? Yuan Sword Gates of the Firmament or something? Is some Chinese RPG. Just got a new PS5 print, and that game was like $200 used for the longest time as a PS4 game.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know.
That's
I think it's possible.
Well, it's not a reprint though. That's not a re-release on the PS5 or whatever. That's sort of.
Yeah, but it's a similar thing. Like a re-release drags the price down.
Oh,
because
big
all those
time.
people that were on waiting for it have bought the newer version. Other people try and sell their copies. Suddenly, the $200 version is being flooded on eBay for like $150.
I feel like that's a temporary thing though. Like that happened with the Raze collection. Like they did that Raze chronology thing. Like it dropped the PS1 games for like a minute, but they went right back up. They're still looking expensive again. So I don't know. But I think you're right. Like I think there's like when the new one comes out, people sell off. There's like you said, there's like a flood on the eBay all of a sudden of people trying to upgrade their copies or sell them. It's the same thing that happened with Steam Decks. I noticed when the OLEDs came out. Like before the OLED got announced, a 512 gig Steam Deck was like $400. As soon as that OLED got announced, I was 1,000 of them on for sale for like 200.
I saw my PS4 when the PS5 came out.
Everybody's just trying to flip their old Steam Decks to get the new ones super cheap. I was like, yeah, I should buy up like 4 of these things. But why? I don't know. I just want them, I guess. They're cheap. Why not? I'll think of the reason I need them later. For now, let's just buy them.
Morgan, have you got any social media pages you wanted to plug?
Yeah, sure. I'm primarily on Instagram, UltraBosh64, and that's really about it, honestly. I'm just there for the community. I think it's still a really great community. I've been a part of it for several years now, and I love interacting with all of you. And hey, come check it out and have a conversation. We'll talk about some games.
You're spot on there. I hate Instagram, but I'm on there for the community and the people. I absolutely hate the platform. I hate the direction they've gone in. I used to love posting a photo, scrolling down the feed, seeing all my friends, just what I want to look at. It's not like that today. I don't see. Morgan says he posts a couple of times a week. I haven't seen one of your posts for like a year. And that's what I want to see when I go on there, but it's not what I see. So it's disappointing how it's gone. But that's social media these days. You want your stuff seen, you got to pay for it.
I don't know if I'm crazy, but like on YouTube, I feel like when I sub to someone, it will like say that the bell was selected for notifications, but you still have to like go in and select it and unselect it and to get it to actually fucking notify you. Because so there'll be so many times where like I'll be like, I sub to this person, and like I have never seen their videos. What the hell? Like I know I sub to this person, and I look, and the bell is highlighted, and I'm just not getting their videos, and I have to like reselect it and select it, and then it's like now you'll get notifications. I'm like, how did me subbing to someone not indicate to you enough that I would like to see the videos? Isn't that the point of subbing? What the fuck is the point of subbing if you're not going to show me the videos?
Oh yeah,
what is
the algorithm worked in weird ways.
It's so
I know Twitch
stupid,
recently did a
dude.
thing where you used to be able to sign up for email alerts for your favorite streamer to go live. They disabled this after a few months, just automatically. So if you sign up for these alerts, and then one day they go live and it's automatically gone, you just won't see the notification anymore. You won't know until you like manually go back into your notifications and turn it back on.
It's stupid. It's like I swear, like they don't. YouTube at some point, like it decided that it was like wanted to be TV. I don't get why they did that. Like YouTube for years was like where you would go if you don't want to watch mainstream television. Like you're like, I don't want to see that crap.
I feel like it was TV who got onto YouTube and went, "Hey, YouTube, we
Yeah.
don't make money anymore from TV. We need all our TV programs promoted on here. Here's all this money for advertisement."
And then they said, "Here's some money. Could you do me a favor and like stop promoting your the YouTubers? Do you mind doing that?" Like I swear they like stopped. Like I've seen how many channels do you remember through like for years that were just growing, and then the last 2-3 years they've just stopped.
Yeah,
I can tell you so many people that I know who have 800,000
unless they make
subs,
short
900,000 subs, a million subs, whatever. Like they were constantly gaining subs, and then all of a sudden, I haven't seen them gain any subs in like a year, like barely any. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it's that YouTube has designed to turn off the tap. Like they like do not want to promote their own content to people. It's crazy. Like I don't know. I'm a conspiracy theorist, I guess.
No, I mean, you're spot on. We get more people watching the podcast now on different platforms than YouTube, and it started on YouTube. That's
weird.
Pretty crazy. Like we have 40 people watching right now. Only 11 of them are on YouTube. That's 75% of people watching it live are on different platforms, and YouTube's like where this all started from. So that might come down to YouTube not promoting it live to people, not even showing that we're live at all. We're possibly missing out on viewers.
Oh, of course we are. They don't promote anybody to anybody, and like a lot of people, they think they're crazy. They're like, "Huh, I don't get it." It's like no one watches my videos. Yeah, they're not showing you your videos to anybody. It's social media has gotten real weird. They don't even show you, like you said, you don't get to see your friends' posts anymore. Like you go on Facebook, I don't see what my friends post. Maybe they don't post anymore. I don't know.
They don't post anymore, and that's part of it as well.
Yeah, but it's just like, yeah,
I know on Instagram they still do. And I don't see my friends post on Instagram. I do on Twitter. I will see friends post on Twitter still.
Yeah, Twitter's pretty lively. Still, I feel like that's doing well. I'm Speed Killer wants to know if we're on Rumble. That's coming soon.
The only reason we're not is because StreamYards don't have Rumble. But as soon as StreamYards allow Rumble, we'll start streaming on Rumble.
Yeah. Because right now I think we stream to Facebook, and I don't know. Maybe we get a lot. Well, I don't know. We'll figure out wherever people are watching the least, and we'll just probably pull that and stream somewhere else. We could kill my Twitch. No one watches my Twitch.
I got 2 Facebook pages that stream to.
Well, Twitch is another one. The only way you get promoted is if you show your tits. So
Twitch is the one where you put the time in. Like I've streamed 10,000 hours on Twitch. That's insane. Imagine putting 10,000 hours into a job. And I think I worked out I was getting paid like $1 an hour for every hour I've ever streamed on Twitch.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous.
You should just paint your boobs.
I know. Why didn't
Or-
I think of that, Joe?
Or you should put on a fursuit and play Beat Saber.
There you go. And talk with a really silly fake voice.
I didn't
I
need
don't
to
know.
stream more on Twitch because my streams have actually done really well lately. I'm streaming Geoguessr. So
I'm just big on authenticity. I don't like people who I think are acting like they're performing when you talk to them. When you're like, "Hi," and they're like,
I
"Hi,
don't
how are
mind
you?"
that.
And I'm like, "You're."
I can respect people who
You're
have a
weird.
persona on Twitch if they hold that persona the entire time they stream. I watch a guy who does that, and he's like, he's
Well,
normal.
it's funny.
He turns himself up to 400 for the stream, and it is fucking fantastic. But he can only go for a couple of hours because it's obviously it's persona he's putting on, and he's doing it as a show.
I mean, I'm not saying it can't be good, but I'm just saying I personally like. I don't like. God, how do I put this? Like, I don't know. People who are just fake and like brown nosy. People who I feel like are just saying what I want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I like people who are a little ugly around the edges because then I know they're real. I don't know if that
I always have the
makes
thing
sense.
where I don't like watching big streamers. I only watch people who I can talk to. Because that's why I go on Twitch, to talk to people. If someone's got more than 50 viewers, I'm probably not going to sit and watch them because they're not interacting with the chat. You know, I'd rather watch someone with 2 viewers who I can sit there and talk to for an hour. That's why I go on Twitch. That's always what I felt like the platform was. It was always the viewer interacting with the streamer, and that's what I love Twitch for.
It's true.
Yeah, I guess when you get so big, like it kind of becomes TV at that point, right? You're just passively taking in whatever's there, and you're even if you're trying to type furiously, there's nothing you can do. It's like shouting at the TV when you're watching football, telling your favorite team to do better. You're doing no good.
Yeah, exactly. I watched a guy last night, and one of his first time streaming, and he didn't expect to have so many viewers. And the idea of the stream was to react to a video. And an hour in, he was still talking to chat. And he's like, guys, I'm streaming to do this, and you guys keep talking, and I can't even do this. And he's like, do you want me to just keep talking, or do you want to watch the video? And
just talk.
The chat was just loving having him live and talking to the guys.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing that I read recently that's disappointing to me because it's my favorite platform. I love Discord. Discord's great. Doesn't use ads. You join pages that you want to see. However, it's just been announced that ads are coming to Discord. So good things don't last forever.
How and where and what? Like in what?
Yeah,
way?
I know. How is it going to work? But apparently, ads are coming to Discord.
Am I going to open my keyboard to type a message and then like Subway sandwiches are going to pop up out of nowhere before I can wait 30 seconds before I can type?
Yeah, it's going to be Jared from Subway. Hey, buddy. How you been? Remember me? Yeah, I heard this other awful thing too. That like certain TV companies are installing this thing in your HDMI port that like makes it so like if you pause a TV show or pause a game or something, it's going to show you ads. It's going to know when you're idle, and it's just going to start showing you ads. And like I was like, what the fuck, man? The ads are just the devil. I don't know. They're talking about it on Asman's stream, and he made a really good point that I thought was fascinating too. Is I think that like older tech, like TVs that don't have all that shit built into it, are gonna become like really valuable. Like people are gonna want the dumb TVs. They have smart TVs. People are gonna want dumb TVs. Yeah, they want TVs that won't have internet in them and the cameras and all this other crap, and screw all that. I've
had that argument for a long time. Why does like a dishwasher need access to my Wi-Fi network? It's the same deal. Like, starting my dishes from the other room would be convenient, but like it's unnecessary, right? My fridge does not need access to the internet so that someone can, get into it and get access to my home network. It's that kind of stuff that really just doesn't make any fucking sense. And I feel the same way about TVs. If I'm gonna, cast the YouTube app or something, I'm gonna do it from my phone. I'm not gonna go into the, settings of the TV and use whatever nonsense they have and go to Pluto or YouTube or whatever.
Can you imagine waking up one day and you got like a smart car and your car's just like ordered itself 4 new tires because it said it's due. It's taken it out of your account.
That's real. That's today. Teslas do this.
Like, this is the world we're going into. It's very scary.
It's a hellscape. I don't think people understand how shitty the digital world is going to be. It's just like everything is controlled by someone else. It's not up to you. You don't own anything. You're just accessing their system as some sort of pleb, and all you're doing is you're paying access for. You never own anything. You're just getting a ticket to their ride, and you never ever can get off.
Temporary ticket.
And the second you stop paying, you get cut off, and it's.
Well, you saw the shit with the HP printers, right?
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah, like you told me like that. I can't remember if their card expired on file or something, like they wouldn't print anymore or some shit like that, right?
Yep.
See, I
literally
have
revoking access to their printer.
And it tries to get me to sign in every time I use it, but I just click the X and I can still use it without signing in. But yeah, that's scary to hear.
Yeah, well, that's another thing too. Is I hate that like everything wants you to create an account and sign in and have an app and all this shit for every single thing. Like I go to my doctor's office and he's like, "Do you use our app? Do you use it?" I'm like, "No, motherfucker. I call you. You write it down on a paper. I show up that day. That's how it fucking works. We don't need to make this any more complicated, asshole. I don't need
supermarket or something.
I don't need a password to log in
every day.
Yeah, I don't need this shit, dude. Get out of here. Like we don't need.
Apparently, supermarkets are now they're getting your card details off like your rewards cards and things, and they can see the car that you drive in the car park, and it's all like linked in together, and it's just like Big Brother's just watching us. Really is.
Yeah, that's why I keep getting all these ads for penis extension medicine. They know. How do they know? But they know every day. They're like, "Take this pill, you'll get 3 inches." I'm like, "How do you know? Stop! What? Is this camera on? What the fuck?" I'm just kidding.
On that note, we might call that a show, guys. Morgan, thanks so much for coming on, man. It was a blast to chat with you.
It was a pleasure.
And you guys, I'll link Morgan's Instagram in the description, so go drop him a follow over there. He's got some awesome stuff on his Instagram.
Yeah. And you might get some ads for some penis medicine, but it is what it is.
10% off. Use your code Joe.
That's right.
Joe Rad.
Hey, you know what? If I get a kickback for it, fuck it. I'll promote that on every show. I would. Use my code. Woo! Let's do it. Think of me every time. All right, that's weird. All right, let's stop.
Right, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Damn it, I went too far. Night, everybody.
Peace.
You found the